overall, it's like the guy can ball. Like, actions speak louder than words. What's going on? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris the Candyman. Appreciate y'all being here. And tonight, we're drafting a super team on Underdog. It's going to be a big board. Going to be number 63, I think, if I remembered my counts. And we're going to kick this thing off in just about, say, 3 minutes. But first, I want to do a quick review of the expected NFL win totals for 2025, give a frame of reference before we go into this draft on what's expected of some of these teams, talk about some of these conferences, and then jump right into a big board. So big board coming up real soon. But first, saying what's up in the chat. Appreciate y'all being here. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Pat? How you doing, man? Putt Daddy, Green Bean. Let's do this. How you guys doing tonight? James Young's in the building. Appreciate y'all coming by saying what's up. And so let's hop right into it. I'm going to start just ABC order like it's set up here, but I'll kind of want to focus on the conferences. So Arizona Cardinals over under 8.5 wins. Let's think if the Seattle Seahawks are going to be at, I'm going to guess 7.5 wins. Yeah. So I have not looked at this list, but I could pretty much guess Seahawks. I would guess the under. I'd probably take them at 7 wins. So then we've got the Cardinals 8.5. I would probably go. That's pretty good. I'd maybe say over is what I'm thinking. We also got the LA Rams coming in at 9.5. That's pretty aggressive. I would maybe say over. And then who else we got in that conference? The 49ers at 10.5. That's a tough one. 10, 11 wins. They kind of bounce up and down between good seasons, bad seasons. So that's a tough one. But okay, definitely the 49ers and the Rams are the favorite in that division. And the Seahawks would be the team with the most change. So that's going to be disruptive. So that's kind of a riskier team. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC South. Falcons are at 7.5. I'm going to go over on the Falcons. I think that could be an interesting one to go. Michael Penix Jr. in his debut season. Can he get to 8 wins? Can he get to 9 wins? Make the playoffs? Kind of have a rookie year for himself. He only played a few games last year, so a true full season. And I kind of comp him to what could he do? Maybe he could do something like CJ Stroud was able to do. Although I'm pretty sure the Texans defense is far superior than the Falcons defense today. What's up, Hartman? Got the usual suspects in the chat tonight. Appreciate y'all being here. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Sorry about getting started a little bit late, but that's just, what it is how it goes. And so Falcons NFC South, Panthers at 6.5. I would definitely take the over on that. The Panthers have had a lot of draft capital early in the draft. Maybe Bryce Young takes a step forward. If he doesn't get benched for Andy Dalton this year, I think they can eclipse at 6.5 pretty easily, but still not a team you're not going to want to invest very heavily in. So keep that in mind. Next, we're looking at in the NFC South, we've got the Falcons, the Panthers, we got the Bucks at 9.5. That's pretty steep, but they've been a dominant team, a great offense. So I'm cool with that. They're definitely one of the better teams in the NFC South. And then the Saints at 6.5. It's looking like the under for the Saints. The news we got with Derek Carr, it's not looking good. Who do we got next? It is the Baltimore Ravens. So we're going AFC North, 11.5. I'd probably take the over on that one as well. They're just a powerhouse team. They're going to be going up against the Cleveland Browns at 4.5. I would think to go the over there because it's just such a low win total. It seems like people are out on the Browns, but that could easily be an over. Again, though, the Browns are going to be kind of one of those offenses you're not excited about, potentially. The Bengals jumped right over them, but they're at 9.5. I'd take the over there. It just kind of depends. Obviously their offense is good, their defense is bad, so that could be an interesting one. But Ravens are the powerhouse. And then if we look at the Steelers, they've got a lot of disruption. They're changing quarterbacks again. So Pittsburgh Steelers 8.5. Mike Tomlin's consistent, but I don't know. I think I would probably take the under on the 8.5 for the Steelers. That's going to have us leaning into drafting more Ravens and Bengals teams, which makes a lot of sense to me. Cowboys, the NFC East. Cowboys 7.5. Dak's still there. He's going to be healthy this year. Fingers crossed. They're going to bring in some new rookie running back talent, maybe a receiver. I'd probably go over on the Cowboys 7.5, although they're in arguably a very hard division. They've got the Philadelphia Eagles, who are probably going to have, 11.5. I was going to guess, 12. So 11.5 is right on the dot. Continues to be a really good offense with all the skill position players that we're drafting: Saquon, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts. They all go really early, so that makes sense. And then if we talk about the Commanders at 9.5, I mean, hey, they're up and coming. That's a surprise, but I think they could eclipse that as well again, which means we've got the New York Giants at 5.5, and that's like the riskiest one. Who's going to be their quarterback? What position are they going to have in their own conference? So let's do a small avoid on the Giants. A few more divisions, and we'll get this big board kicked off. If you want to join me for that real soon, appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you're liking the video and sub to the channel. I appreciate that. Let's see. We got Buffalo Bills. Have we talked about the AFC East? I don't think so. So the Bills at 11.5. It's like, how do you not take that? You want to go over with the Bills. It's an exciting offense. The crazy part is that once you get past Josh Allen, James Cook, it's like, where do you go from there? What players do you want to invest in? I'm not really big into Khalil Shakir this season, so I think I'd rather kind of hope they draft like a Jaden Higgins or something like that in the beginning of round 2. Maybe replace Keon Coleman. So to be determined, where we're going to be drafting Buffalo Bills players going forward, except for really those top 2. Of course, Ray Davis, but I mean, he's kind of more of a flyer, RB2 handcuff situation. So then we've got the New York Jets 5.5. I would say over, just because of they should be more talented on defense than they've been able to put up. I mean, getting rid of Aaron Rodgers, getting Fields in there. Obviously, Fields is not great for winning football games, but I still think 5.5 is pretty low. I'd probably go over on that. It's just maybe not by much, 6-7 wins. So still pretty much an avoid. That's why we're kind of light fading Brees, maybe light fading Garrett Wilson too. That's a tricky one. Maybe a good fantasy point team, but not a good NFL team. We also got the Patriots, who are kind of in a weird position. They got Drake May. Now they got Diggs coming in whenever he's healthy. I think that team's in a lot of flux. So 7.5 seems a bit steep for them. We also have the Miami Dolphins, 8.5. I would probably take the over on that. More excited about the Dolphins. They've been underperforming. So quick overview of these divisions. We're going to jump into a big board real soon. I think we've got a few more divisions to go through. We've talked about NFC South. Let's get into the NFC. Do we talk about the Bears, the Packers? I guess I said... Did I say, NFC North? So we've got, I think I meant AFC North earlier. NFC North, the Bears at 8.5. That one is a little bit kind of optimistic. I might go 8 wins for them. Maybe they don't get it all the way back together, although I'm really high on the Bears. I've been drafting a lot of Odunze, of course, DJ Moore, drafting Caleb Williams. So maybe need to kind of dial that back just a bit. We can look at the Bears, the Detroit Lions. I would say over 10.5. Enough said about the Lions. Stellar offense, good all around. The Packers 9.5. That seems pretty much like a tall order for them. I'd probably take the under. Bears over is a smash, Hartman says. I think it could be, right. It all comes down to, and I think offensively, yeah, smash. But defensively, what are they going to be able to do on the defensive side of the ball? Can they actually win the games? But yeah, maybe Caleb can control, a little bit more of the game script this year, put him in some good situations to win. So it's possible. So yeah, maybe over, but it's a really tough division. The Packers are at 9.5. The Lions are at 10.5. So, and then the Vikings, of course, the Minnesota Vikings are at 8.5. So who's going to be the worst team in that division? It's probably the Packers. Packers, Bears, one of those two. I don't think it's going to be the Vikings, honestly. I think the Vikings are going to be solid, even with JJ McCarthy. I'm more in on JJ McCarthy than it seems a lot of people are, but I think it's going to be tough for the Bears or the Packers. Going next to talk about them. Broncos. So we got the AFC West, I think is one of the last divisions, and then the AFC South. So AFC West, Broncos 9.5. That seems like a tall order. Maybe there's a sophomore slump for Knicks. I'd probably take the under on that one, although all around good team. And I'm mostly coming from like a fantasy offensive perspective. Weighing in the defense is a little bit more tricky year to year. So I'm going to say just under on that one. Let me know what y'all think about this AFC West, because they're going to be going up against the Chiefs, who are obviously, always in a good position to get double-digit wins. 11.5, I'd say 12 wins, so that probably over. The Raiders 6.5. That's I don't know. Even with Geno Smith potentially getting Genty, can they get above 6 wins? I'm not sure. You'd hope, but that's kind of a slight avoid. The Chargers 9.5. They're probably going to be another team trying to get back into the playoffs. I maybe take the over, but it's a tough conference. And then we talked about the Raiders, the Chargers, the Broncos. Who are we missing there? I'm not sure. It's escaped me right now which team we just passed over. So let's move on to the AFC South. The Texans at 9.5. I think that's pretty close. Their defense is their strong suit. Can the offense bounce back in a meaningful way? I'm thinking over, maybe take a little bit more Texans. And then the Colts 7.5. I'd definitely take the under on that. I think they're just missing a lot. So we want to fade the Colts. Jaguars 7.5. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what the situation is there and if Trevor Lawrence is going to be worth it or not, as a real starting quarterback in this league. He's kind of had ups and downs, never really gotten to that next level yet. Maybe take the under there. And then we're going to be obviously looking at the Tennessee Titans, who 5.5 wins. That's not a whole lot for Cam Ward if he potentially comes in there and takes over. Like the Broncos this season. Yeah, I would agree. Like the Broncos. Got a number 9 best ball on call, says Anthony. Dolphins. Did I hit on the Dolphins? I think we got the Dolphins. Like the over there. And then like the Bills over, AFC East, NFC South. Throw in the Browns and Steelers as well. Okay. A lot of good opinions in the chat. What was the last team? I guess it would have been Chargers. Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, and the Chiefs. We got them all. I think we touched on all the teams. So yeah, this is BetMGM. Just a quick overview. What's the expectation? We're 10 minutes into the stream. Let's get into a big board draft. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So if you're ready, if you're queued up, if you've been eager to get in, let's enter it now. Fingers crossed that, sweet, waiting on 7. It's a good spot to be in. Fingers crossed. I've had issues, like I've mentioned most nights streaming in this last week. The Chrome browser with Underdog, I've been talking to their support team. I don't know what's going on, but half the time I log in, I'm getting all these issues. I get the woof error. I get spinning out, timing out, location errors. Which team do I think is most unpredictable? It's going to be the Titans. They're going to be very unpredictable because they're in a spot to get the top rookie quarterback, in the draft. And so think back to the Texans of 2023. That's just easy for me to reference. It's like no one would have saw them coming out being a playoff team, winning a playoff game against the Browns in Stroud's rookie year. That's pretty unheard of. It's hard to do. Can the Titans do something like that? That would be exciting. So I think they're unpredictable. And then any team that doesn't have a quarterback yet. So I'm talking about like the Saints. I don't know how much better the Saints can get in a position. I think it's going to be pretty bad outlook for them. But I mean, potentially there's, the Saints could be unpredictable. The Steelers can be unpredictable. Tomlin doesn't lose a lot of games, but who's his quarterback going to be? Does Rodgers go to the Saints? Do the Steelers trade up for a Dart or a Milrow or something completely out of the blue? Where does Kirk Cousins end up? So a lot of good questions. I like it. We filled this big board pretty quick, and I'm glad a lot of y'all got in here. So we're going to have a good draft. We got Aaron in the 2 spot, Greenbean in the 3. We got Vaporware in the 4. What up? If you're in here, We got Hartman in the 5. The Sentry, I've seen him. If you're in here, say what up. And I've seen him in a few of our drafts over the night. He's in the 6 spot. MLB Syndicate, that's a familiar name. I'm not 100% sure who that is, but it seems familiar. Andrew Charles seems familiar. Myself in the 11 spot. That's nice. That'll give me some time to talk with y'all in the chat and plan out how we're going to draft this super team. So the whole point of this, the big board's closing soon. I didn't even check what percentage filled it's at, but I'm pretty sure it's getting close to 90%. It's going to be close to 90% this week. So let's get different. Let's mix it up. Let's push the limits, build a super team that can really get through the playoff gauntlet and win some money. That's the goal for tonight. So I'm going to lean on y'all for some support. This room's too sharp for me. Hey, I don't know about that. It's a pretty sharp room, though. A lot of red badges, a lot of familiar names, badges in general. So I think we're in a good spot. I think we saw some weird things happen last night in the stream. People auto drafting, people taking 4 quarterbacks, people taking what we thought was a 4 running back hyper fragile team ended up being Dylan Sampson as their first running back and then just completely dropping the ball. So there's some weird stuff going on, some unstacked quarterbacks. I think this looks like a room where you might have a little bit more faith that you can get your stacks completed. So this is going to be a good one. And I don't know if you've been watching the stream over the last week, I think you might know who I'm looking to take at the turn, pick 11 and 14. I think I might just grab him at pick 11 just for the bit of it. And then, I mean, there's 11 and 14. There's not that much of a big difference. I don't know what General BB is going to be doing, but I might just get my guy at 11, see who's there at 14, kind of what's the difference. So far, so good. Monra goes in the 6th spot to Sentry. This is the time in the big board where you want to, and just like that. I mean, I was going to hide it much longer, but I wanted Genty with my 11th overall pick. He goes 7 in this room. I feel like I just got, the wind knocked out of me. Puka goes, Nico goes, CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to go with Brian Thomas, who I've only got 3.6% exposure. I did draft him last night and haven't updated my exposure since. So probably it's actually closer to, 5% by now. But let me start with a BTJ. And then before my next pick, let's roll the clip. Let's get it. That gets me so hyped up. I mean, I want to draft Genty like every time after I see that. Wonder who it could be. Yeah, he goes 7. Hartman already knew. Hartman already knows. So I take Brian Thomas. Neighbors goes, standard stuff, and the clock is still ticking. Who do I want to take with... who do I want to take here then? McCaffrey, Neighbors... Okay, Bowers is an option. Bowers BTJ seems pretty fun. I think I did Achane last night. AJ Brown would be sweet. Bowers would be part of a super team. Yeah, I've got a lot of Bowers. Let's get some more. I'm just going to do it. I mean, the only problem then is I kind of want to go AJ Brown with Hurts. I could still take Hurts. I could still take any. I'm going to leave it more open than that. I could still take any of the elite QBs in this super team. Brian Thomas, Brock Bowers. I probably don't have a ton of that to start with. Yeah. Everybody knows it. Okay, good. But the funny part is I've drafted Genty like one time since I made that clip, and maybe I'm just not getting a pick in the back half of the draft, or like the back couple spots in the draft enough. But even then, I get the 11 spot. Genty goes 7. What are you going to do? Ooh, Hartman going with the robust running back start. I like that. I mean, Gibbs and JT, potentially huge payoff. Although we just talked about the win totals, and I'm fearful of the Colts and what they could be doing. Trey McBride's been going earlier and earlier. Vape grabs him up at pick 21. I think that's pretty savvy. Trey McBride's becoming a second round pick, no longer available in the third in most rooms, if you haven't noticed. I feel like I was hoping the chat was going to help me out draft the super team. Now we're all competing in this draft, so y'all are going to be throwing out wrong answers, trying to steer me in the wrong direction so I can't land this plane. I'm going to have to do this by myself. That's all right. Yeah, how are y'all doing this Saturday night? I've had a pretty good Saturday myself. It's been a long day, but a good one. I had a family reunion in town earlier today. 100 extended family members, all at a rented out restaurant. We had wood-fired pizza. The wine was flowing. You know, we're Italian, so it was a lot of food, a lot of loud talking, and a lot of older relatives, and a lot of catching up and taking big family pictures. So it was a good event. Took my family to that. Met up with my parents. My brother came into town for it. So overall, pretty good. I got some sun today. It was hot out there. It was like literally 94 degrees in Houston today around 1 p.m. So we were in an indoor outdoor venue, and it was hot. I got some sun. I'm a little bit sunbeat, but can't complain. And then got home, caught the second half of the Masters, following the guy Rory McIlroy, see if he can make history, get his career Grand Slam tomorrow, or is Bryson DeChambeau gonna upset and steal a major from him, get Bryson's third? Yeah, trying a robust build. I've done a couple robust builds in this tournament. It's kind of easy to do it too. It's pretty easy, and it's not super common. Maybe one person is doing it. Yeah, there you go. Josh Jacobs, even more robust. So real robust. It's a real robust team. A lot of T going on, high testosterone. Jamir, Jonathan, Josh Jacobs. Oh, Garrett Wilson's falling a little bit. Terry goes to a nice spot in the middle. Is the Sentry going to be able to complete his Terry Daniel stack? We'll see. We'll see. Mike Evans goes the first pick of the third round. That's a fun start for, in my mind. You got Chase, Hill, Evans. That's pretty good. Sentries, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, Terry's pretty similar to that. A good situation to be in. And Nico, Drake, London, Devontae Adams. So there's some piss boys in this room. It's time to get a receiver. I don't know if there's going to be a running back here at pick 35 or 38 that I particularly want, except because I'm going to pass on Hall this time. I could do the Lamar thing. I could get Lamar like I was talking about. Let me go ahead and queue up Lamar. Hampton, always a good pick. Otherwise, it's Rice. Do I pull up Rice? I don't think I want Flowers. I'm going to go ahead and take Lamar Jackson. Be in a position where I don't need Trevor Lawrence. I don't need Geno Smith. I can push them down the board if they're there later. You know, maybe I go for them. Unfortunately, Rice goes. So that would have been a pick I would have liked to make. I just don't think I want Flowers. Maybe a little bit early for a Dunze, but not a bad pick. Do I go Hampton here? I've got a lot of Hampton. Let's keep it going. Let's take Omarion Hampton. He can be part of a super team. He goes in the first round to the Cowboys, the Broncos. Who knows where he's going to go? The Steelers. So he could end up in a really good situation. I have seen Hampton in some weird ways. Like I've been seeing him maybe even fall to pick 45, 46. I think that's just a great value. But at the end of the day, it's what you can get in this entire kind of range in this round. You're going to be taking one of these guys. So that's how we're going to build this thing out. We're behind the 8 ball at wide receiver, which is not looking like a good move in this room with a lot of guys going heavy wide receiver. Maybe I'm going to zig. I'm going to zag where they're zigging, and I'm going to, build out the tight end and the QB and get myself maybe a hero running back at this spot. And then when they're all tired of receiver, I'll strike. First big board in a while. It'll be my last sad Saturday. Congrats on the maxing Green Bean. Thanks for being here and drafting tonight. And good luck, my man. That's fun. Yeah, you have to figure out what to do next. I think you might have been mentioning some other sites that you were drafting some best ball teams on. So there's always somewhere to go next. Got the 101 in the overflow. We take those. Oh no, Pat. Pat was in here trying to get in this draft. No wonder you were saying this room was too sharp for you. You got in the overflow. Got to let us know how it's going in there. The 101, I'm thinking you're building out a Jamar Chase team, and there's not going to be any Chase Brown on that team. Definitely not. Packets, the BBO special off stream. Yep, 100%. Stacking Lamar with Andrews or Bateman feels better than Flowers given ADPs. I would agree with that because obviously Zay Flowers could just be, that guy you needed stacked with Lamar and during the playoff weeks, and he's having like touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. But realistically, season long, if Hampton goes in round 1, if he's a workhorse back, he's going to put up way more numbers than Flowers. I don't think Flowers' ceiling can match a Hampton, who we could be hoping has a season similar to, I don't know, think of like Bucky getting a full workload the entire season instead of having to be transitioned in. A better version of Bucky. Of Bucky's last season. Who knows what Bucky's going to do this year? Obviously, he goes in the second round, so could he get a workload similar to Josh Jacobs, where he just takes over all the snaps? Piss Boys choking out the wide receivers. I know, Pud Daddy. What am I going to do here? I'm taking my second and third potential wide receivers, pick 59 and 62, and dang, the Century gets the Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels stack. I didn't think he was going to pull it off. I just noticed that. T. Higgins gets Joe Burrow. That's nice, Green Bean. You made it work. You pushed Joe Burrow an extra round. Get your Zay Flowers. Where does Hurts go? Hurts goes to Aaron Sandy, and that's looking pretty good. When it comes to this range, like the Chris Godwin, Courtland Sutton, I think, we're talking about guys that could be potentially the wide receiver 1 on their team, on an offense that can be pretty good. So there's still some nice wide receiver values in the 5th round. I think 5th round is where I like to get another receiver, and let's just see what's going to be there for me when it comes around. Room full of gents. Yeah, it is. What up, Wobby? How you doing tonight, my man? Hope your Saturday is going great. Yeah, Pat's killing it in his overflow room. We'll have to keep checking in with him to see how it's going. Exactly. Yeah, we're doing pretty good in this room so far. I'm getting scared. There goes Olave. Well, I was trying to fade Olave anyways, so MLB Syndicate and Kamara, we're fading the Saints based on the review we did at the beginning of the stream. There's no way I can go Kittle or Travion or Ken Walker. I'm gonna go Addison here. I'm almost certain. Let me throw it up to ADP. I'm gonna avoid Debo. I don't really want Jennings either. I don't really want Reed, Ridley, Pickens. I might have to. I don't know. I might have to get creative. Could just take another running back, but it feels like I should go 2 wide receivers before it gets too late. Go ahead and let that one go. Just checking in on ADP for the rest of the draft related to the Ravens picks. Y'all didn't see that? I don't know what that was. Freaking Google Chrome doxing me. Yeah, I've had so many problems with Google Chrome this week. I've messaged Underdog support like 2 of the last 3 days. They've gotten back to me and all the basic stuff: clear the cache, restart Chrome, restart whatever. And I don't know what it is. I think they're working on it though. Let me know if any of y'all are having problems with Underdog's website on Google Chrome on desktop. Yeah, Green Bean tried to push Burrow. Didn't, yeah, backside turn, why not? Fading Steelers, kind of. I mean, maybe not. Pickens, I like Ridley. This could be Ridley for me. I'm going to get different, just a little bit different. Feels like a shame to take Juwan Jennings ahead of George Kittle. Travion Henderson. We'll see how this works out. You know, I almost thought about taking George Pickens, maybe get some of that AFC North, divisional correlation going on. Juwan Jennings is fine here. It's closer to ADP at least. And then maybe this is maybe Purdy falls. Sometimes Purdy falls. I don't know if I'm going to want a quarterback in that range yet, based on McCarthy going later and Trevor Lawrence going later than that. So I don't love where I ended up there. I don't know if this super team is still cooking. Kind of got boxed out at wide receiver. Anytime Juwan Jennings is your wide receiver 3, not great. Feels like a 4-5 type of guy. So yeah, I don't know. Fading Steelers, I think so actually. I don't take Warren at ADP. I take him after. Freiermuth I take after. I don't draft any of their QBs. I don't draft Aaron Rodgers. DK I take a little bit after ADP. Pickens, I guess I'm fading. Yeah, I'm fading the Steelers, I guess. Buggy on Chrome pretty often. Okay, I mean it's not just me, but it's been tough. Ooh, get your guys season. Vape says I need to get some more Travis Hunter in my portfolio. That's where he's at. 69. I like it. It's aggressive. It's an alpha move right there. Take him ahead of the turn. Don't let him come back to 76. I think last night, or maybe it was 2 nights ago, I took Hunter at 73. So I'm right in this range with Hunter. I think that feels good. Eventually, he's going to be going where T-Mac is going. And actually, yeah, Vape's got T-Mac and Travis Hunter on this team. Quinshawn, Najee, James Conner. Baker goes a little bit early. Pick 73. I guess that's what happens when you want to stack up with Mike Evans. You miss out on, I guess he skipped Burrow. He didn't even pull the trigger on Burrow. So he's got Godwin too. This guy's got a double stack in the one spot. Queen, Debo. Pearsall goes. I was going to try to maybe potentially double stack Pearsall. I'm not really that surprised though that he goes there. These wide receivers are drying up. I'm going to be in a really tough place. I think the value has been for me to take running backs, but I've been kind of avoiding doing that. So am I building a slightly worse team? Should I have gone on a more of an RB early start? I think it's possible. Okay, this is going to work out. I'm going to get one of Golden or Burden or maybe both of them. I'm not going to take Downs, even though I like Downs. I could come back and take Aaron Jones or Pollard. I've got Addison, so Jones doesn't feel like a bad click as an RB2 on this squad, a little bit of veteran presence. Although you hate to see it when the coach and the staff comes out and says that they're going to be trying to give Jordan Mason these goal line and high value touches out from under Aaron Jones. So that kind of scares me. You can see I don't have a lot of Aaron Jones. I took Golden there. I could have taken Burden. I'm not sure if I like Burden. I've got, a good amount, and I've got Burden on my, I'm pretty sure it's on my biggest board. So that's why my exposure, my dollars is so high there. Okay, Aaron Jones and Burden both go. Makes it easier for me. Last call. Don't want to do anything at QB. Okay, I think I have to take Andrews here because the odds that he comes back to pick 107 is impossible. So it's a little bit of a reach. We'll go ahead and take Mark Andrews. And then that's fine because I've been drafting a good amount of Tony Pollard. And I don't know if Pollard really fits on this team other than a divisional bring back potential for Brian Thomas. To me, Matthew Golden seems fine as a wide receiver 4, but just between Jennings and Golden, it's not like you don't feel like super safe with that. The only thing is the spike week potential from Brian Thomas, Addison, Jennings, and I assume Golden is going to have some spike weeks too. He's a big play threat, likes to score. He's got a nose for the end zone, as you like to say. So I've got spike week guys. Can I build out the rest of this team? Does Lamar Jackson and Hampton and Bowers and Mark Andrews give me a floor? Maybe I'm flexing Bowers or Andrews on certain weeks. Definitely going to be a 2 tight end build. So double elite kind of tight end. I don't think I've built a team like this yet. Could have tried to push it and gotten Andrews with the next pick, but I don't think that would he'd be there. Andrews was going later, kind of near the, I want to say 99, pick 102 kind of range, maybe a few weeks ago, but he's risen a little bit. 49ers play both South divisions, so it gives you late Panthers, Jags for correlation. Okay, that's good intel right there. I don't think I even knew that. I haven't really conceptualized that fully yet with the divisional matchups and who's playing who. So that's good to know. Just checking in. I was supposed to be at one of my buddies' weddings tonight. Is a destination wedding in Costa Rica, so that would have been pretty sweet. I would have loved to have been there, but with the new baby here in the last couple of weeks, we're not flying anywhere. So Costa Rica is not going to happen for me. But I'm getting a lot of the bachelor party group chats sending some photos of people on the dance floor right now. So they're pretty lit. I'll tell you that. After taking Mark Andrews, Cooper Kupp goes. Not a guy I was going to target as a wide receiver in this draft. I'm going to go Golden or Burden over him probably. I think he's maybe at the end of his trail. Pollard, Warren. Caleb Williams goes to Jedi. I think he got Rome. Okay, he did. So Rome and Caleb Williams. Bo Nix goes to Hartman. I think you have Sutton. You do. So there you go. Kyler and Vape. I'm going to guess Marvin Harrison. So it's very gentlemanly so far. Everyone's stacking up nicely, getting the players they want. I mean, look at all these wide receivers going off the board. This is insane. I mean, it's not like it's egregious. It's not that far past ADP, but there's no wideouts falling for me. Hartman likes Andrews' pick. Him and Hawker, favorite tight ends to click. I've always kind of liked Mark Andrews and Hawkinson as well. I think they're pretty strong picks. I could look to go running back here. I can keep pushing it, but I think this could be a spot to get Ramondre. I could go. Obviously, I'm not going to look at tight end. So let me get rid. I don't think I need a quarterback just yet. I'm going to push it, even though the Purdy's there. Could be the Ramondre spot. Could be the Bateman spot. Let me get Bateman first, and then let me figure out Ramondre after that. Shout out to Best Ball Overlay, keeping me in check, making sure I don't miss out on my Bateman stack. I'm not going to give General BB a chance to take Bateman from me on this squad after I passed up on Zay Flowers. So, okay, this is going to be fun. I think I'm going to take Cam Scatabo here, even though it's my RB2. You know, do I go Pacheco? Do I go Brian Robinson? I'm kind of fading just those two guys. Look at my exposures on them. I want to get my Scatabo up. And let me go ahead and take Scatabo. And then I've got a treat for y'all. This worked out pretty nicely. Here we go. That's hype right there. I had trouble editing the Scatabo highlights down enough to fit. I mean, that was like 45 seconds long. It was hard. There were so many good highlights. Breaking tackles, catching swing passes, just breaking loose, touchdown after touchdown, pushing the pile. So I'm excited about Cam. I think it's a risky RB2 pick, but could pay off. I mean, it's a weird. I don't know if I love going with two rookies as my first two running backs, but I'm gonna make it work. Landing spot wise, I have no idea where he goes. So hopefully somewhere good. I've heard a few things, but I'm definitely high on Scatabo, and got to get some more. So take some more exposure there. Vape says, hey, saw a bunch of familiar name in the room and thought there must be a live stream going somewhere. What up, Vape? Glad you made it. Appreciate you checking in, being here, my man. Looks like your team's off to a pretty good start. You've got your Kyler stacked up with Marvin Harrison. You got Pearsall and did you get Kittle? No, okay. You got the Pearsall though with the Purdy. And I was jealous. And you got Trey McBride too, so that's nice. That's real nice right there. I was jealous of your T-Mac and Travis Hunter. I think that's a great grab, both top rookie wideouts, lean into the uncertainty of the Travis Hunter alpha move. Scatabo. Peace. Yeah. Thanks for joining the stream, checking it out. And for all of you out there, appreciate you being here. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Throw me a like. And I've got a goal now. I figured this out over the last couple of days. I'm going for a 100 subscriber goal. When I hit that, fingers crossed, it's before the draft, I'll do a 4-hour mega draft marathon kind of stream and I think that's like 5. That's probably like 5 big boards, 4 or 5 big boards. If the big board fills, by the time I get to 100 subscribers, we'll do some best ball manias. And I'm already kind of planning, as soon as Best Ball Mania opens, the first 24 hours, I'm going to try to get in at least like 8 to 10 drafts. So that's quite a lot of drafting. That's a commitment. That's like, 8 hours, 7-8 hours of drafting. And so I'd probably want to do about half of that on stream. Could be real fun. Make time for it. Maybe a late night stream, depending on the day of the week, what works out. Haven't really nailed down my schedule yet. Just trying to keep coming back and streaming more for y'all. So stay tuned, and appreciate if you can help me reach that 100 subscriber goal, and we'll keep drafting. This is a fun one. This is a good room. Quarterbacks are flying off the board in round 10 and 11. It's a QB pocket, is what I like to call it. And then we see Jaden Higgins go pick 120. He continues to rise up boards. I'm confident Jaden Higgins is going to, landing spot dependent. All other things considered equal, I see him going in round 8-9 potentially. Pretty aggressive. Maybe Luther Burden falls back out. He gets replaced by Jaden Higgins. Who knows? I'm not out on Luther Burden either, but could he pass up Marvin Mims? Yeah, I think Jaden Higgins could pass up Marvin Mims. I think Jalen Knowles, another guy that could jump up here. He's still kind of back in that range where Higgins' ADP previously was. So let me think through some of these stacking partners. Obviously, Brock Purdy's gone. I passed on him to get my RB2. There goes T-Law. He's not going to be the out here. Do I take McCarthy and then go? I only have Addison, so it's not the strongest correlation. Otherwise, I get Geno late. That kind of feels similar. Maybe not as much upside as McCarthy. Appreciate that, Vape. There we go. It's a big fall on Kelsey. I didn't even notice that yet. Let me check that one out. And then backstack Herbie could be a way to do it. Yeah, if Herbert's there, we spoke too soon, jinxed it. Oh, and it's his third QB too. That would have been a nice falling value. Kelsey goes 122. That's kind of crazy. That's wild. Backstack Penix, you can kind of do it. It's not the best thing to do. I definitely need a running back here. Tank could be a way to go. Tootin's there. Trey Harris. I would have definitely taken Justin Herbert and Quentin Johnston with my next two picks. And then, damn, DeAndre Swift is one pick before Tank Bigsby. That one hurts. What? JJ McCarthy goes? Are you kidding me? Oh, I'm tilting on that one. He stacked him with Aaron Jones. Tell me you've got Hawkinson. Doesn't even have Hawkinson. He has an Aaron Jones stack. He was feeling the pressure. I guess he didn't have any QBs. I probably should have noted that. He didn't have a QB. He's feeling the pressure. He takes McCarthy and Penix. I'm left out in the cold. But I got Geno. I can always go with Geno. I probably need another running back anyways. If I look at my wide receivers, I'm more comfortable there. I don't really have a lot of Trey Harris. Maybe I go Tootin here. Tootin or Trey Harris. I'm gonna go with Tootin since I got Bateman, and I'm feeling pretty good about Bateman as my 5. I feel like is suitable. I haven't drafted Tootin in a little while. Once his ADP came down so much further, I kind of pulled the brakes, but yeah, I don't need Likely. Okay, we're in a good spot. So far, there's a big fall on Kelsey. He went after Njoku. He went after Kraft. Yeah. Green Bean got a lot of Higgins, feeling good. And then, I missed out on the Herbert there. Sucks to suck for me. A 1-4-5-2 build through the first 12 picks. I've got Lamar. And hey, once you got Lamar, you can keep pushing quarterback. So this is probably a 2 QB build. Maybe I take Lamar with a dart or a Milrow and just say, put it all on the line, put it all behind Lamar Jackson. Putt Daddy wants to know thoughts on McCarthy. Let's show you all the board. What's going on? There's been some interesting picks. Some tight ends are going, and Bryce Young goes 138. So quarterbacks, Cam Ward goes 140. Quarterbacks are flying right now. They keep going. Doing a second one. I think I might. I think I might be doing a second one. It's feeling like a second one for show, Pat. What's your thoughts on McCarthy? Basically a rookie after being hurt last year. I'm in. I like McCarthy. He's a winner. He's got the buy-in from the NFL. Coaches love him. Players love him. How do I know that? Well, there was a little thing called the NFLPA annual golf tournament at Mayakoba in Mexico. McCarthy was on the team that was hosted by Harrison Smith, safety for the Vikings, longtime safety in the NFL. Who else is on that team? Adam Thielen, longtime Viking, scratch golfer, and actually Robert Tonyan. I don't know how he fits into that besides being just a guy's guy with them. Maybe they went to college. I don't know. But that Harrison Smith team has won it like of the last three of the last 4 years. And they brought in JJ McCarthy as their debut piece onto their team. I don't know exactly who they replaced, but for those kind of grizzly proven veteran NFL players to bring in McCarthy on their golf team for a scramble, and then I'm pretty sure they won it again this year. I actually didn't see how it ended out, but they were winning it going into the last day. That gives me like the extra confidence that McCarthy is like he's going to be a guy. He already fits in well. There's all these subtle cues like that. Beyond maybe he didn't have great stats in the national championship. Maybe he's just good at handing the ball off to Blake Corum. Michigan defense carried. Michigan offensive line carried. I think it's pretty hard for a quarterback to underwhelm in the KOC offense that the Vikings have. Look at what Sam Darnold did. A career year last year. You got Justin Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson. Aaron Jones is he's always been a good supporting cast member. And they keep investing in that offense, bringing in Jordan Mason. So I'm pretty high on JJ McCarthy. I think he's going to be a good pick for fantasy. It's just kind of crazy though if you compare him to like Justin Herbert. Of course, you would think Herbert's a better quarterback, and he's probably a better real life quarterback. But JJ's got a rushing upside that I don't think Herbert really has anymore. Hasn't really shown. So that could be another piece that elevates McCarthy into being a top 12 quarterback as his redshirt rookie season. Let's go. Yeah, I'll shoot it to you after this pick, and then we'll be ready whenever you are. Likely goes before me. I don't think I would have taken Likely. Couple running backs have gone that I like. TJ Giddens goes a bit early. So they're going on a run of QBs and running backs. I don't want Algier here. What do I need to do? I want Harvey here. And then let me give myself some time to make this next pick where we should be going. I think that makes sense to go Geno. No, the purple scared me for a half second. It takes his third. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about tight end. I'm not in love with this selection here for wide receiver. Maybe Noel's good, but I don't necessarily have to have him. Although it does feel like I'm due for another receiver really soon. It's been a while. I'll ask out Bateman at like pick 110 or whatever. So I'm going to go Geno. I'm going to lock down the QB position so I don't have to worry about it too much more. And then I'm going to come back strong with some wide receivers, some rookie wide receivers, kind of finish that out. Let me hit up Pat with the invite. All right, Pat, I'm going to go to your DMs. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you had sent that a while ago. I get carried away looking at the stream. You know how it is. I don't have the I can't control the plane, fly the plane, and manage all of the Discord and Twitter ongoings quite as well as the master himself. So yeah, just got you in your DMs on Twitter. Jump in whenever you're ready. We'll rip another one. It's gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Been cooking up a Candyman and Pat stream for a while. It's been too long. I think we did a BBM last year. Maybe it was a big board, but typically we get in. The last couple of years we've had an annual stream. Looks like he's ready. Let's get Pat in here. Let me change my overlay real quick. Give him one more second. I'm going to switch up the overlay. Give him one more second. And then boom. Here we go, Pat. Boom.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, my man?
Little late night drafting. All right.
Hey, you know how it is with the kiddos. They got to go down. The house has got to be quiet.
That's it.
Everyone's asleep except for me, and I'm out here drafting, making these bags.
I've been meaning to ask you. You've changed locations, draft locations from the garage. You've been upgraded to inside the house.
I'm allowed inside. Can you believe it?
What kind of deal did you have to make for that to happen?
I just had to close the doors tight, and the dog has to be 6 feet away from me at all times, so she's right there. And I got to be a little bit more quiet, so my mic's turned up, and I'm trying not to be too loud, but I get excited out here.
Oh, you have to. How old are the kiddos?
Yeah, so I got 2 now.
That's what
my daughter's 2.5. Super fun. So she's, talking, running around. She's crazy. Yeah. She's doing it all. We're potty training right now. It's going pretty good. And
hell yeah.
And then the newborn's 4 weeks, so he'll be 4 weeks in like a day or two. A couple days.
We're on like a similar wavelength where I have a 2-year-old and a 3-month-old. So two youngins. It's a lot of fun, man. That's awesome.
It is all fun, isn't it? It's just all fun all the time.
See, the wife doesn't know your stream, so I could say whatever I want here.
yeah, you can. Yeah,
it's open mic night.
No, it's great. I'm loving it. I like the dad life, and
hell
yeah, man. That's how it's been. I'm allowed inside.
That's huge.
It's too dang hot. I mean, when I started ripping those streams the couple years in the past, it was like winter transitioning into spring. It was like 90 degrees outside today. I can't be in the garage that hot. Electronics don't work.
That's so good.
You're still in your other draft too?
Yeah. I'm bouncing back and forth. The eyes are dancing right now. The eyes are dancing. I just got Njoku at 145. Like what?
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I don't get a lot of Coker, but at pick 179 and I need a wide receiver, I think I'm going to grab some Coker here. A slight ADP value. It's nothing crazy. About 25 picks, but I mean, if he's going to hit, get him cheap, right?
Good spot to mix him in. I have like no Coker, just because I think they're going to add a receiver, but whatever. 25 picks after ADP. Who cares?
I made the mistake of listening to the community, all the cokeheads out there, everyone hyped up on Coker. That was a very March thing.
He hasn't really been falling all that much though.
And then I don't have a ton of Dobbins. Do I grab Dobbins here? 30 picks, 35 picks past ADP.
He has to rise, right? Like no matter what. From this spot.
I guess he's definitely been. I don't want Hop. I'm not going to get Hop here.
No.
I guess. Yeah, Dobbins, I mean, I feel like I'm catching a falling knife though. Where does it bounce? When is that trajectory on his ADP going to change? It's whenever he lands somewhere. So
right. We saw with Diggs. Diggs fell all the way to 130.
Yeah, I saw with 140 maybe. A bunch.
So it's like, oh shit! Like he's on a team. He's alive playing football. And now he actually looks good in practice. So
Diggs does those routes he's running. Yeah. He was kind of
doing cone drills. Like he looks good cutting. I mean, he's still got a ways out. He's gonna be fine.
What up, Emo? How you guys doing? What up, Anthony?
Damn.
Green Bean. Everyone's excited the Pat's here. Hell yeah.
Chilling. Get this guy to 100 likes, man. He's gonna do a 4-hour stream for the boys. Hit the sub button. Super easy. And then just
yeah. Pud Daddy says kids are grown, but we have 4 cats. Well, I mean, you know how it goes. You never forget. If once you've had kids, I'm sure you know how it goes. But the 4 cats, I can't really relate there, but that's kind of funny. Replacement kids once they're out of the house. I guess that you get desperate. Get some cats. No, I'm just messing with you. Let's go. Inside privileges. Yeah. I used to hang out in the garage. You can check some old live videos. Poor quality, but some fun times. Pat not Cokehead. Yeah, me either. I don't really draft a lot of Coker. I think you guys, the community in general, convinced me to draft him in March when I don't know why. I'm back in the Thielen train.
Dude, Thielen was at like 179. It's like, why?
I didn't even draft Thielen last year. I think I drafted Thielen last year twice.
Yeah, I've like full faded him last year too. So
yeah,
I feel that. But Coker was okay before, like he was an okay click before Adam Thielen decided he's playing football again this year, right? It's like, okay, time to adjust, everyone. Like we got new news. Adam Thielen's coming back. Like, and it's a team that could take a receiver. I don't think they're happy with Thielen, Coker, and Leggett. Like personally,
I mean, but did they give up on Leggett that easily? I think they're going to keep trying to develop him.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I'm saying. So you have Leggett who you're developing, and you have Adam Thielen who's like old. Yeah. Hey, is Coker that good that they're like, we don't need to touch it receiver this draft? I don't know.
No, you're right. They're going to take. I mean, I'd have to pull up their draft picks. Let me do a quick Command F on the Panthers in my document. But I mean, they've got pick 57. They could be taking in an Elick, Manor. They got pick 74. That's a little bit late. Round 3 is, I mean, Coker was undrafted, right, out of Holy Cross. So anything is better. Any draft capital is better than that. But
Worcester, baby. Worcester, Massachusetts.
Is he that? Sorry, is that where that is?
Yeah, my neck of the woods. My neck of the woods. See, you already got me talking about different players. I don't talk about these players in my streams. It's just the conversation never comes up.
Got to get you out of your grooves that you've already dug yourself into.
That's it.
Tell me more about what was going on in the stream today. I was actually at my family. I don't know if you heard. I was at my family reunion right when you were streaming. So I
heard. But Crazy Italians.
Crazy Italians.
Both sides of my family, 100% Italian. So
there you go.
I know what those are like.
Yeah, it was fun.
They always are.
It was great. Yeah, the wine was flowing. The pizza was was hot. It was good. It was a real fun time. So
let's go.
Interesting. Yeah, Knoll to the Panthers. He's a slot guy, right? If I know anything about him, I don't know a ton about Knoll yet. The Cyclone receiver is getting a lot of hype. What do you think about those two guys, Knoll and Higgins, as rookie receivers, Pat?
I saw a little buzz. I don't know how serious it was about Higgins potentially sneaking into the first round. If he does, you have to think it'd be near the end. Still think he's a round 2 guy, but Knoll, I believe right now is projected for the 3rd round. And he's going in front of, I believe, Elick too, which is kind of a little strange to me. But yeah, I think it's fine. I still, in that range, I'm looking for people that are going to spike. Like,
sure.
Isaiah Bonds, like, in real negative light right now. And I just gravitate to these players that are assholes off the field. And they just have at least a high spike potential. Like last year is Jermaine Burton. I'm not anywhere close to that. I was at like 20% Burton. I'm only at 5.5% Bond, but I just gravitate to these guys that are going to potentially give you spike weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to consider taking Bond there. I'm a Longhorn. I'm a big fan of my my Texas players. I still have some faith in Bond. At pick 204, you can't go wrong. Dude's all upside. So another player I've got queued is Torrey Horton. I watched a little bit of him throughout the years at Colorado State. I think because of his injury, he's going a little bit under the radar. But if I want to take a swing I don't think I have, besides Golden, haven't got another rookie wide receiver in this one. I just took D-Hop, who's pretty dusty, but I mean, just getting that stack in there, maybe something will come out of it. Maybe he never plays and does anything like
Yeah.
the playoffs with the Chiefs. Who cares? Who knows? But pick 18, I got 2 left, and they're going to be running backs. I can probably push it. Let me, I don't know if there's anyone I want to grab right now ahead of Torrey Horton. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Torrey Horton here, a guy that I have some conviction in that he can do something in the NFL. Maybe he doesn't even touch the field this year, but he seems healthy.
One little nugget is Karain like reaches like 25, 30 picks for Horton.
Oh, really?
Unstreamed, yeah. Like I'll go through if I'm drafting with someone sharp. I'll screenshot it. I'll send it out to like the people that subscribe to the Patreon and shit. Yep. Like, hey, this is Liam on stream. Like, flashed his exposures for 1 second. I paused stream. Like, here they are. Like stuff like that. Sharp people, their drafts. And Torrey Horton is one of those guys. I was like, oh, interesting. Like,
so you guys all in the chat, you guys heard it here first. You're going to be seeing now that I have the overlay, you're going to be seeing my exposures in the Patreon chat real soon. Very sharp after here.
Let's go. Let's go. I love that.
Bro, how many big boards are you down now? Do you have a few left?
I have 20-ish. I have around 20 left. 2 bigger boards and 2 biggest boards. And I'm just going to split the biggest boards that I have left. I'm not going to rip 250s at a time. The money just goes too quick.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've got a ways to go on my big boards. My original goal was I was going to max the little here or there on the bigger and biggest. I've done one of each so far.
Cool.
And then I said I'll do at least 50 big boards because last year I did like 35. But I'm well on my way to about 75 at this rate. If it closes soon, I'll get like to 75. If it takes another minute or two, I'll get to like 80. So I don't think I'll get to 100, but
is some of that because you're not happy or maybe not happy with your exposures, but you're chasing guys that you want to be higher on as you learn more info?
Maybe a little bit of that. I think also drafting throughout the season, things progress. The players we're taking now are much different than a month ago or in February. Just kind of staying with it, staying sharp on ADP, staying in the flow. It's the only now that golf drafting is done for months. So I had a lot of that out of the way. I maxed the big albatross, the little albatross, scramble. So I've maxed a bunch of golf tournaments recently. So now I'm coming off of that. It's time to gear back in fully to the NFL when BBM kicks off. I'm going hard on that. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Sandy, get out of here. Focus on drafting your team with Aaron Rodgers. You just like Aaron Rodgers because he has the same name as you. Get out of here with Pizzagate. Oh, this is another interesting name, Harold Fannin Jr. What do you think about? I think I've heard you talk a little bit about the rookie tight ends, but you sprinkling them in? Are you overexposure? Are you a little bit lower?
Mason Taylor's my number 1 owned tight end right now.
Yeah.
I like the rookies. Warren, Loveland, they're all in my top like 6. But it's interesting. Harold Fannin Jr., we just don't know. We just
Such
don't
a big unknown.
know.
Yeah.
I think you have to be at 8%. Like I'm at 11.6. I think you have to be at 8%. He's a free pick. And it's just like, what if? He's a running back turned tight end. He set all sorts of records playing. I mean, the competition wasn't as great, but when he played good teams, he still performed. So the target percent's insane. First look percent is insane for the guy. So he's definitely worth being. I'd be worried if I was under 8%. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm just looking through my rookies. I'm definitely Colston Loveland's my lowest, I think, and he's at 8%. I have to check Warren. Warren's at 6%, so I'm behind on Warren just a little bit. But the other ones, the late guys, Mason and Harold Fannin, I'm definitely drafting them about 14%. And then Arroyo, I actually was taking a bit earlier. I've kind of cooled on him, but
Arroyo's good. If he can stay healthy, he'll be good.
Strong thoughts on. I mean, wow, these rookies dried up. You guys must have been taking a bunch of them Raheem Sanders or Jaden Blue? Quickly pick one. You think?
I'd go Sanders, but
Yeah, let's do Sanders. I'm more exposed to Blue, so I'm happy to spread it out a little bit.
I'd probably go Mitchell or Shipley there as a boring person.
No, I've learned a new name. So last night in the chat, I got wise to Keaton Missile.
That's good. That's solid.
So,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, you got DK and Pickens. So Aaron Sandy's doing his double stack with Aaron Rodgers. Good luck if he even goes to the Steelers. And then I'm just messing with you. But yeah, I got wise to Keaton Missile. We were talking about his per touch efficiency of his true rookie year.
That's all we can do.
Sprinkle in. Kind of a weird draft for me. It ended up interesting. I got the skinny stack with Geno. Didn't take any other Raiders. And I got Lamar with, I guess, Keaton Mitchell, Mark Andrews, Hopkins, and Bateman. So interesting. That's just like fading Zay Flowers. Take everyone but Zay Flowers.
Yeah. Dude, Hopkins is just out here like ring searching, huh? Just hopping from team to team at this point.
Yeah. You kind of hate to see it. He's pretty dusty. I don't love the pick, but I will take him in this Lamar stack every once in a while. Probably won't draft him much otherwise. It was so sad to see him do nothing with the Chiefs all during the playoffs, right? That was it.
Yeah, with no Rice, like brutal, pretty brutal.
Yeah, I know. And he still couldn't do anything, right? He was like losing snaps to everyone.
Justin Watson.
Yeah, Watson was the one I was thinking of.
All right, that team was interesting. I got Hawkinson a full round after ADP. Kelsey 15 picks, which I'm really low on Kelsey.
Yeah.
And then Njoku 29 picks after ADP. I'm like, I have to bring him in. Like, I'm not passing up on Njoku at 145. Like, get out of here. I'm fitting him in this build. That's wild. I've been trying to get to a lot more dart in the last round, in the 19th, 18th.
Yeah, some dart. I was talking about that the last couple of nights, especially ever since we heard the Derek Carr news. It's like sprinkle in some dart, sprinkle in some Milrow. More of these quarterbacks are going to get drafted in the first round or early second round of the NFL draft than we were thinking a week ago, right?
Right. I don't actually necessarily think New Orleans is a good spot for a rookie.
Right.
But you never know. You never know. They started hot last year, and then it was all downhill for New Orleans. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. This one wraps up. I think for the essence of time, and because we were all in here, got Aaron Sandy in here, Green Bean, Vape. We got Hartman. I mean, there's a ton of teams in here. I'm not going to spend too much time. Let's not review these teams. Let's jump into another draft because we're burning the midnight oil. Pat is on the East Coast, so graciously in here drafting with us. And I don't think
I got like 20 minutes. I got to give the kid Tylenol, and if it's quick, I'll be back. If not, you'll get a text. But I should be back.
I totally understand. That's how it goes. If I hear a scream in the distance and my camera goes off and you just see a draft board drafting silently, I'm on my phone putting the kid back down with the bottle. So the stream already knows where we're at.
That's love. That's love from the chat right there. That's nothing but love.
Oh, popping off too. Old man Flacco. Let me catch up real quick. Might have paid for our room to go recipe. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check on some of these teams later. We can talk about them again, but let's 2882. It's not. I don't think this is the super team. So we're gonna keep going. The running backs just kind of failed me. I wasn't able to land that one on the running backs. Wide receivers are kind of shaky as it is. So really, it's an elite tight end build with an elite quarterback and not much else. Let's get back into another draft. Pat, are you gonna try to jump into this room, or you want to draft with me on this one?
We'll see. We'll see how many people. If it's like plus 11, I'll help it. But
so I'm going to go in 3, 2, 1, plus 1.
I'll just chill. I'll just chill.
Dang, that's kind of rare. This time of night, it sometimes takes
Yeah.
a minute or two to fill up. So sorry to anyone who was hoping to get on this one again, but we just had a pretty good room with a bunch of bros in it. This Aaron Sandy gets in.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, yeah.
got
What's up? What's up?
some interesting names. Let's see who's in here. I got the 2 spot, which is really fun. Definitely a spot we can get a
Hell
super
yeah.
team from. We got Hugh. Huge in here. Aaron Sandy. Hartman's in here. So a few of the guys made it in.
Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Do you like Barkley too?
Sometimes.
What's your Barkley JJ looking like? Okay. Oh wow, we're pretty similar. You're not running hot with your top 4, huh?
No, I'm not really running hot with my first, I guess, 6 picks. I mean, this Gibbs and CeeDee Lamb could easily balance out. The Bijan is just random and the Chase is random. So
I'm there with you though, where I'm drafting Jefferson at 3, and when I get the 4 spot, Bijan's always going at 3. So my Bijan's also very low and not really by choice.
I kind of want to take a Bijan here because I don't know. Is that crazy to go Bijan over Saquon and Justin Jefferson? I've seen people do it.
Probably.
I've got a lot of Jefferson.
It's probably crazy. No, just you do what you want. Do what you want.
I'm gonna go. I love Jefferson
either way.
No, I'm gonna go Jefferson. I got scared the last second. But I like Saquon, but I feel like, I mean, am I chasing last year's results? And also, could Saquon have been the playoff, best ball playoff hammer? Yeah, but he wasn't. And can Justin Jefferson do it? Of course. Like, the only fear is JJ McCarthy if you're not drafting Jefferson where he should be going. Jefferson could be the 101. Chase could be the 101. Maybe Saquon's the 101. But in this format where you really need those spike weeks at the end of the season, do the Eagles need a win at the end of the season? Do they need to ride out Barkley? Can they take can they kind of pump the brakes a little bit? I don't know. It's hard to predict all of those different factors, but I can kind of sell myself on just being like Justin Jefferson, pull the trigger, can't go wrong.
I'm there with you with about 13.8% Jefferson. So I like JJ McCarthy too. I think he's going to be good for Addison as well.
Yeah. Because I guess, was it week 15 or was it actually week 17 that Addison popped off?
Oh, was it 17? I don't know. I didn't have him on any of my
I didn't either.
Teams.
Well, I didn't have a week 17 team. Rest in peace.
Damn, bro. It's coming. It's coming.
I did, it was so I either I had one and it min cashed or I didn't have any. I'm trying to think back. I just drafted so many golf teams. I kind of fried my brain, but for my results. But it was 2 years ago that actually, was it last year? Yeah, I guess it would have been. I think last year I min cashed one of the Poodles in the finals in week 17. So I wasn't even, it was nothing. And the team was dead going into it, kind of had some I think I had some QB injuries and just kind of riding that team into it. But it was 2 seasons ago where I had a good top 10 finish in a Poodle and was, had some returns. But last season was kind of tough with the Nico injury. I was really heavy into Nico.
Oh, it was sharp too. It was super sharp.
It felt good for a long time. And then when he missed 6 weeks with the hamstring, I was in pain.
Yeah. That will hurt. That will hurt. How many teams did you have last year?
So I don't even remember the actual number, but I maxed BBM 5.
Yeah.
I did a good amount of all of the time box tournaments, thinking back to all of those mini schnauzers or whatever it was that was the 10-second clock, the 15-second clock, 20-second clock.
Yes.
We had a bunch of those crazy ones. All the palms, I would try to get as much as possible.
20, I think those were 20 each, 20 max.
Yeah, the palms. I always do the golden, the one-off, but then a couple of the Dalmatians, a couple, here and there. But I would say I think I was if 150 plus, and not including the pre NFL draft, but just the post NFL draft, I must have been right around like 202 or
Okay.
210 teams. I think was my range. Kind of leaning
So
more into
that's
like the higher dollar amounts over rather than just like maxing the puppy.
nice. Nice. Yeah. That makes sense why you had one or no finals. It's very hard to make the finals, especially in
Yeah,
some of these puppies. That's like 1 out of 16, 1 out of 12, or 1 out of 16, 1 out of 16. Like even if you're doing 150, you're gonna make the finals once in every 8 years.
right.
So some of these
Yeah,
contests are brutal advance rates.
no doubt, no doubt.
Little
Um,
McBride here. You,
I kind
do
of
you
like
have the
McBride.
do you have the do you have the combination tool? I
I
can't see it at the
want
bottom.
to. I'm afraid to refresh because of the issue I'm getting with
Oh
Chrome right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's either him or T.
Jeez. Whoever you want. Both
I'm
both
gonna
good
push.
picks
I'm
here.
gonna push McBride.
Good
See
pick here.
what's Sewell Exports 95 does.
Mhm.
Um, I don't want to. I like T a lot. He does take McBride. So I mean, maybe he would have stacked T. Maybe I could have got, or maybe not. Maybe we could have got T with the next pick. But I want to stay ahead on this draft of the wide receiver avalanche.
I like
I'm
that you have Kyron up here too.
mhm.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about bringing like DJ Moore down here? Not a lot of people are doing that.
I like that. I think that's smart. I mean, there's a lot of names these round three
No
wide
one's
receivers that
no
go.
one's doing it with Marvin Harrison too. He'll
Yeah,
be
Marvin
another
Harrison I
guy.
would have liked if we would have gotten McBride. That's a really fun start, and maybe we could have done
Yeah,
that. Would have gone
from the
Jefferson,
double.
McBride, Harrison, and then if I look there, like I'll show you my Kyler exposure. He's my number one QB right now, which better or worse,
Hell yeah.
25%.
Holy shit. You're all in. You're all in.
So
Is this unstacked, stacked? You don't care. You see Kyler, you take Kyler, good value.
so a lot of it was in the little board. I would take Kyler to get ahead of the QB kind of runs that go in the later rounds,
Yeah.
and probably unstacked like 25% of the time of like
That's
getting
not
of when I get him. So he's mostly stacked. I'd
that's
have
not
to
bad.
pull up the combination, obviously, but off the top of
That's
my
not bad at
head.
all.
But then what I do is I backstack them. So my Michael Wilson
Oh
Michael
god.
Wilson exposure was insane.
Oh
Unfortunately,
shit.
you know how it goes. And then
Hey, year 3, you don't know. You don't know.
then maybe they
Are they
replace
gonna
him
add
too.
they have to add a receiver though.
They could. But then like James Conner too was the guy that I would get a lot of, and so I don't
Cool.
know.
Cool. No, Kyler seems like a really good value this year.
I kind of hope
Really does.
so. It's now or never. He's not going to have that much of a leash with
Yeah.
if he can't win actual NFL games, get to the playoffs, be injury free. They're building the supporting cast around him. Oh, I like that. That's shiny. Is that a PSA
Oh,
10?
yeah, a little 10 auto, 10 Siggy on the Kyler when he got his ACL dropped to like $200. I'm like,
That's
this has
sick.
to be a good buy. It like 5x'd after he played a full season.
That's real nice. I like that. I just got so my oldest 2.5. She's real into to cards now. Like
Oh,
every
cool.
board game comes with cards. She likes to shuffle them. She's into cards, but like I've got random football cards, baseball cards, all that kind of stuff laying around that are just from the years have gone by, and she likes to collect them and line them all up and like look at them, shiny ones and everything. It's great.
That's neat. That's neat.
It's funny.
Kids, it gets you back into stuff too.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. The crazy part was, so I've gotten a Nintendo Switch. I don't game a whole lot anymore. Like I rarely game anymore, but I've got a Switch and I'll load it up and she'll sit there and she likes to mess around and play with it. So like, that's pretty funny too. Cause I'm like, yeah, like I want to push like all the nerdy stuff. Like,
You're gonna
you
play me
know,
in Wii golf later. You can't say no.
yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. Some people are like, oh, aren't you afraid of like giving your kid a computer or screen time? I'm like, doesn't everyone work on a computer these days? What do you mean? Get ahead of the curve.
They
My kid's gonna be
have,
coding by the time she's 6.
they all have iPads at age 5 anyways, like, geez, in
Yeah.
class. Like,
Yeah. No, I mean that is both sides of it. It gets extreme. So try to focus on the outdoor activities. She's actually getting really into golf now too, which is super fun.
Let's
We got a little golf set up in
go.
the backyard. We got some turf,
Let's
and
go.
so she likes to get out there and putt around and stuff. It's
Oh,
really cute.
that's the best. That's
Yeah.
the best. I told the
Yeah.
wife, I'm like, ever have a girl like they're golfing?
Ooh,
Like
yeah. Good scholarships.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But we're into it all. She's starting ballet soon. We're looking at soccer. I think we're a little bit young for soccer, but I'm
Yeah.
psyched. One of the
Gotta
funniest
chase
things.
the ball.
Yeah, they like that. She loves chasing the ball. We go to the park and she'll interrupt older kids' soccer practices and like wander into their soccer practice, start kicking the balls, and I'm like, oh, sorry.
It's fine. It's fine at that age. They can do what they want.
Exactly. So is that right? You got 2 boys now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Very
fun.
lucky. Very lucky. They'll be playing together in another 6 months or so. 6
That's
to 8
awesome.
months.
Yeah.
Excited.
Yeah. It's good stuff. One of the funny things people would say to me, they're like, oh, you have a boy. You're going to have a boy now. You get to do boy things. And I'm like, you don't think my daughter can do boy things? Like,
Hey.
know me? Like she's going to be out there ripping it
Kind of
up. We're going to
boy
be wake
things.
surfing, wakeboarding,
Oh,
doing it
sick.
all. Anything boys can do, she can do better. I'm going to keep her
Hell yeah.
tough. So
This range blows, in my opinion.
sometimes, I got a lot of Chuba. I think that's mostly from the little boards because if you look at the dollar amount compared, but
I like dragging up Waddle here. Kittle's not a bad option too.
I'm kind of thinking Kid. Well, we can push it because he's already taken the tight end.
Yeah.
I like T-Mac. I don't know if you're super in or out on T-Mac. I've got a lot of T-Mac.
I'm near field, or I might be just over. Let me check.
Geez, I'm at 20% T-Mac, so I like him too much, but
Who cares? Like you could just get a really good landing spot and you're chilling. Yeah, I'm at 9%.
9%. I think I want to cap a lot of my exposure to this part of the year around 20%. So anything above 25, I'm going to try to work it down a little bit. Anything that I really like that is, going to be somewhere between 15 and 20% feels more comfortable.
Yeah, with my exposures, and this is just how I like to do it, is I really have no one besides, I guess, 2 players. Najee and Emeka Ibuka are the only 2 players I have that are inside the top 100 that are over 20%. Over 20%. So as the draft goes on, the stronger my takes become.
For sure.
And I make a lot of my money on my fades.
Of course.
More so than like those strong all-in takes. But you could get a really good landing spot for Tet, right? And you're cooking.
Yeah.
You're absolutely cooking.
I'm hopeful. I always kind of lean into the top rookies for better or worser, but I like what you said there. It's actually, and I don't know how to back this up with like numbers and stats, but a fade is a safer move than just being way overexposed to one player. It's better to fade someone. It's not going to hurt you as much as being just completely exposed, like 50% or 40% to one guy. Then he goes out for the season or whatever, you're cooked, right? So a fade is actually it's a lot easier to recover from a fade. It's not going to hurt you as much. Usually it takes a team to win these kind of tournaments, not just one particular player overall. But you mentioned Najee. I'm showing Najee here 17%. At one point, he was 25% for me. And that's because I've got Najee on almost every single little board team. Like almost all of those little boards have a Najee at pick 120. Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't stop drafting him though. When did you, you seemed like you slowed down.
I definitely have.
I'm at 24%. Like I've slowed down too, but there's still like, he's in a good range still. I feel like he's in a good range.
I think I said this last night to some of the guys because they were trying to get me to draft Najee, and I almost pulled the trigger. I forget who we drafted instead, but look at what Dobbins just did on this Chargers team. Najee's better than him, right? Still, I think a little bit younger, and Dobbins has a career year, and then the year before that, maybe it was 2 years before that, Gus Edwards on the Chargers. Like, it can be a really rewarding spot to be in on this hardball version of the Chargers too. But typically Justin Herbert's had some pretty good running backs. Like think back to Eckler seasons. Like that's a good spot to be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Najee can do it. I'm not afraid of the Najee click. I think we might be in a, if he falls, he's been going earlier and earlier. This could be a place where we get him. I don't think he's gone yet. And I need a running back on this squad. We started off with Jefferson and Higgins, DJ Moore, T-Mac, and Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't take Joe Burrow. So we're getting close to needing a quarterback anyways. It's going to come down to, do we get McCarthy? Can we get Caleb?
Hopefully.
Yeah, or Purdy a little bit later. So we've got some outs. And then with T-Mac, I don't even want to try to guess where he's going to go. So I don't really try to stack him and assume I can figure that one out yet.
Yeah, there's a good amount of like in that range of like Drake May, Fields. You can get just some pseudo like rushing quarterback like Drake May too and backstack him.
Yeah, I like that.
Fields getting some positive coach speak.
Yeah, I haven't been drafting a lot of Fields. I'm pretty low on him. I think it's hard for me to pull the trigger where he's going now, but it shouldn't be like it feels like it could be a good pick. I'm slightly fading the Jets, I guess, so that's part of it.
Don't blame me there. I
know you've mentioned. I think it's like, didn't DJ Moore have his career season with Fields as his quarterback on the Bears? Like, wasn't that what happened? So I think you've said that a few times. Just being a bad NFL quarterback doesn't mean he's going to be bad for fantasy. So I think I got to re-warm up to Fields.
There's going to be volatility there for the receivers. Like, no doubt. No doubt it's going to be volatility. But, what it means for Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson goes in an interesting range where I think he's just fine at ADP. He's going to be more volatile.
There goes Najee at 68.
Yeah, right before ADP.
I would have liked that on this team. We were talking him up, so it's kind of getting excited. Quinshon, I'm in love with Quinshon. I try not to draft him every draft, so I'm at 11%. But
yeah, it's a good spot for him right now.
There's kind of a gap here too, right? Aaron Jones is someone we can maybe get on the way back. We have to watch out because this guy didn't have any running backs either.
Yeah.
Otherwise, could be an Ibuka team. That could be fun. Switch it up a little bit. I'm going to take, and I would have probably taken Montgomery, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably would have taken DeMont there. But Judkins, I got his highlight clips in my new intro, and it's like every time I watch his highlights, I get a lot more excited. Judkins is a guy I've been following since his Ole Miss days when he had that true breakout season as a freshman at Ole Miss, and he just looks like a mean running back. Like he can just toss guys around. I think it's going to translate well to the NFL, and anything can happen with these landing spots. So I'm leaning into that a little bit.
Yeah. Brought in by the Bengals as well.
Ooh, that would be cool. Okay, so pick 74. Is this too early for Aaron Jones? Do we go Ibuka and then push Aaron Jones, or do you think I'd
probably go Travis Hunter or Aaron Jones.
I got it.
Not bad. Because he's rising. I've seen him go as low as 49 or as high as 49, excuse me.
Really?
In
I like that call. Days. That's a good call. I think we want to be chasing up players that are going to keep rising. A lot of potential. Travis Hunter definitely fits the bill. Heisman winner, Biletnikoff winner. He's a stud. He's got insane hands. I think his route running could improve a little bit. Was one thing I learned. There was a Steve Smith senior video. He's been posting these receiver videos, his like takes on them. And he said Travis Hunter could be a better route runner than he currently is. And he probably needs to do some things and learn some things to translate to the NFL really well. But overall likes him a lot. And I mean, the dude's a stud. He's gotten so much respect. He's like the Shohei Ohtani of the NFL. He's going to be like, he could potentially be that, right? The next level. So
it's the end of the draft, right? Like this contest is coming to a close. There's no sense waiting to push these guys an extra round. If you know they're going to rise for the start of BBM, like just grab them now. You're drafting against this pod. That's the most important thing, is beating this pod that you're in right now. After that, yeah, will you be against a team that got Hunter at 120? Like, sure, right? But
I think that's a great point. It is, You got to beat this pod first and foremost. But yeah, then it gets scary once the pods start to mix up and you're like, oh, shoot, I'm boxed out because I've got Hunter against his Hunter at 150. But, if he
There's
hits,
gonna be
it
so
doesn't
many
really matter,
misses.
does it?
There's gonna be so many more misses though.
Yeah, it's the misses.
Those early ADPs, like that team could have Shaheed who went at like 66 to open the contest. It's so what are you trading?
Yeah, that's funny too. That's a thing I've seen in the golf drafts because it's 6 teams and 10 rounds. There's 60 players selected. It's kind of like the battle royales where you get a view of like, maybe a guy's going to go from the 5th round to the 3rd round, but then the 3rd round guys are going to the 5th round. So you're kind of just switching guys. If the totality of who's being drafted doesn't really change that much, then it's not that different.
Yeah. Yeah. And think about how many more players you have access to now that they didn't know about at the time. Yeah. Like Tootin wasn't being drafted. Damian Martinez was going undrafted. All these other players that you now have more information on, more access to is you're going to have different teams and very, very different teams.
100%. So a question that Harmon wants to know, and I'm catching up, but I'm so far behind on the chat, but he was asking earlier when you talked about Amika and your high exposure to him, is that more of a function of the ADP or are you in love with, what you're seeing?
That's me literally sacrificing all of my Luther Burden 2.7 to go 20% on Amika and how much on Golden? 19% on Golden.
Oh no, you're Golden with Golden. You're like him too. Okay, I was going to assume a little bit that you must be slightly lower on Golden, but if you're in on Hunter, you're
both
in on
that range,
Aguka and Golden. I mean, I think you're making a good call there. Slight fade on one of the guys, but they're not all going to hit, right?
No, I used to love Myers before he rose up to the 70s. I haven't taken him in like a month.
Me too.
But that range, that he rose up ahead of all the rookies. That range, like I'm drafting like no Burden, no Shakira, no Ayuk. So I'm really no Jalen Warren, and I'm low on Hawkinson. I get him when he falls, and he seems to fall in all my high stakes. So we're there money wise, but I'm really sacrificing like 5 or 6 players in that range to get ahead on 3 players. I have 0 Tracy too. 0.
I'm at less than 1% Ayuk, and I was at like 4% or 3% or 2% Shakir. I don't even remember the last time I drafted him. It's always a Josh Allen team, and then I still don't even like it because of the way it lines up on the board. It's sometimes feels like a reach.
It's fine with Josh Allen. I don't completely hate with Josh Allen, but I agree. Like all my Shakir teams have Allen. It's funny. But yeah, so more like I think it's a polarizing range, at least the way I see it. Yeah, please, for the one time, we got a little padding with Bo Nix there. I love that you flash between ADP and your ranks. Real smart.
Just trying to keep it fresh. Make sure I get the anyone we want to stack. I'm not missing out.
Mentally prepare.
We can always backstack Bo Nix. Oh, just kidding. So you think we take Caleb and make sure we don't miss out on quarterback?
Definitely.
Yeah. With the way we took the rookies, it's hard to predict where that's going to go. I have more Stevenson than I would think, but that's because I was taking him previously. I want to say his ADP used to be a little bit higher, like around 100, 105. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I feel like I don't take a lot of Stevenson these days. Like it's kind of an area where I feel like it's a cliff. I really don't like Warren as much either this year. I mean, if he's there, it's fine for an RB2. You just got to hope for the upside, and he's a vet. Okay, he's gone. Then
I think it makes sense. I was going to say, he definitely makes sense for this team where it's like draft like you're right. The Pats don't spend a top 3 round at RB, but
we need a running back, but it's going to be Swift could fit in just because of the team correlation. What do you think?
I'd pull up Charbonnet probably, or Cam Scat if you wanted to get spicy.
I like Charbonnet. I got a decent amount of exposure. He was a player that, back when I first started getting into drafting best ball manias, I was really high on Charbonnet. Even with the landing spot, he paid off decently well last season, so we saw some of his potential, what he can do when he gets the reins in that offense. I'm a little bit afraid of the Seahawks this year, not going to lie. But Sharps is a player that I think he can do it all. So,
And they want to run the ball. K-Walk's proven he can't stay healthy through a whole season. So I mean, there's some positives there at Pickle-Hundy. And we're gonna need some RBs here. It's probably gonna be a little break from tight end, I would think.
Yeah, if we didn't take George Kittle, it could have been a good spot to get Warren there. And then if we didn't have Kittle, we might be looking like we already had, I don't know, maybe it would have been Nixon or Travion. But at pick 50, we were also kind of in a tight spot. Hampton went 46, so we got unlucky that he didn't go one more spot and get him at 47.
That'd been sweet. That's a good scoop by Chris there.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're probably planning for a Komet and then plus one late tight end, like a 19th or 20th round, I would think. And let's just scoop a ton of receivers, running backs, and we'll figure out what we want to do at QB. Maybe Drake May's there on the way back around. But you're hoping maybe Travis Hunter slips to the Pats in that scenario.
That could be fun. I feel like those mock drafts where we saw Travis Hunter go into the Patriots was more of I don't know if it was a function of just where everyone's heads were maybe at the end of March or what was going on, but don't you think you've seen more of him going to the Browns and the Giants as of late?
I'd say it's probably still have like a 30% chance that he ends up a Patriot.
Okay.
That's enough for me to try to correlate it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You just got me thinking, have you done any looking at some of these prediction markets like Polymarket or anything? Have you looked at some of these for the players' landing spots?
Not in a couple weeks. But yeah, I was at one point looking at that for the first round receivers and some of the running backs. Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting data point. I mean, we've got live, put your money where your mouth is data by doing these drafts, the ADP, but the prediction markets are, who knows how accurate they are on any given subject. But I think one more
Travis
data point.
Oh yeah, go ahead. One more.
No,
now I'm interested. Now you got me. You
hooked. You want to pull it up?
Yeah, I want to see it. Travis Hunter, you probably have the highest success guess rate with what team he's going to end up on, right? With the Browns, Giants, or Patriots. So I say 30%. I go just under 1/3. But it is most likely going to be one of those three teams, unless someone trades up out of, thin air, which could happen. It's the NFL draft. See crazy shit every year.
So can you see this decently? I'll zoom out a little bit. Maybe that helps. It just says Travis Hunter, and then it shows this top one is the Giants. Wait, is this? Yeah, this is it. Which team? Wow, the Browns were the second highest team the last time I checked. How are they not on here? This doesn't seem right. No, this is okay. Let me find a better one. This is maybe like a side bet or something. I don't know what that is.
I would say the Browns are about 30. Let's go 45% chance. I'd say Browns are 45%.
Well, there's one that's called "Which Position Will Travis Hunter Play?" And without sharing it, I'll just say it's a mix. No one knows. There's nothing good there. Okay, I don't know. Let me try to find the Travis Hunter one again. That volume didn't seem right. It was only 12,000. Maybe it was showing it in millions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the scale could have been.
That doesn't seem right to me, though.
Now, I've seen mocks, right, where like the Raiders trade up to 2 for Travis Hunter, like weird mocks. So like anything can happen, but like don't be surprised, like fully surprised if the Browns just went QB or if they went like Abdul Carter. Like, so there are outs for Travis Hunter to slip to the Pats at 4, but I'd say 25, 30%. That would most likely take Shador going to the Browns at 2, which is seeming more less likely every day. and then Abdul Carter going at 3 to the Giants in that scenario.
Yeah, I wonder if Abdul Carter's going to fall at all. This is a really strong edge class, but I think that teams are going to want him. He's going to go early, right? So
He's top 4, like lock.
got to be. Okay, Swift is still there at 120. Not that he's a great pick earlier, but we have a little bit of team correlation. Otherwise, let's think about what else we can do here. At running back, it's B-Rob, who I don't have a lot of.
Yeah, probably good reason. I'd probably lock in a QB here. Like, take your pick. Anyone but Swift.
Get Swift. I knew you were going to say that. You don't like Swift.
Good. It's good.
No, I know you don't like Swift. But I think
in a world that Chicago whiffs at running back in the first round, you're looking pretty good.
Or it's Quinjon to the Bears. We got both of them, and that's just weird. But okay, well, because we missed out on Herbert, who could be backstacked, and I think Drake May was gone too, right? Drake May, Purdy had gone pretty early.
Love with Wicks. Love. It's pretty easy.
Damn. Well, now I shot myself in the foot on that one because, well, actually, even then, Tucker Kraft was already gone. Right.
Yeah. I love, no pun intended, love Loveland as well. But QB, I like to have 2 by this range.
I know, right? It's gonna
Fields is gone too.
I know the QBs went a little bit earlier. We can always come back from McCarthy later, which should be our next pick if he makes it back. You think Dak?
We have Jefferson, right? I would just go McCarthy.
Just take McCarthy here.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to get him with the Addison and Hawkinson. It's only like a 11 pick reach. It's nothing.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah, I just, maybe try to push it. It feels weird taking him ahead of these guys, but if he's a top 12 QB because of his rushing upside and the volume that he can, the passing volume he can achieve, and maybe he gets a lot of touchdowns, gets lucky and throws a bunch to Jefferson, right? So
in this scenario for the specific team, like, Dak doesn't have a good year because something happens to Lamb, right? Or just Ferguson gets hurt again. Like, the offense isn't gelling well like it was last year. And Dak has a bad season, right? We're tied already with this team to Jefferson. So we're already making the bet that JJ McCarthy does good because we took Jefferson at 2.
100%. Yeah, I agree. It's a really good perspective on it. I hate trying to take a Dak team without a CD and then backstack it at this point. It's so ugly. We could say that maybe T-Mac goes to the Cowboys. That could have been like one way to play it.
Hell yeah. I like that thinking.
But still,
I like that thinking a lot.
Otherwise,
I do that a shit ton with Dak specifically. So I think that's smart that you're thinking that way.
Otherwise, it would be Stroud, and then we have zero chance of stacking him up effectively. They could even replace Dalton Schultz. That's what I'm kind of hearing, reading the tea leaves a little bit. Potentially Dalton Schultz gets some more competition.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm glad we got McCarthy there, though. I think that's double down on your original investment. We took Justin Jefferson early. He's the guy. Draft like you're right kind of thing. Yeah, Hartman tells me every night when I draft Swift that that's a bad pick. So you're not alone.
Dude, I just like McCarthy's one of those guys that I want to be at 8 to 10% on, and I just can't because there's always 2 other active drafters with Hawkinson and Addison, and QBs don't fall. Like, they don't really fall that far. Even Purdy, I think, might be a little rich for where he goes. He slips a little bit in this draft, but
yeah, I like Purdy if you have him stacked really well, right? Because that's how that whole ecosystem would work. The 49ers have a bounce back year. You're going to want Purdy with his weapons. I just want to check if Hartman got Purdy with McCaffrey in this one. I bet he did. He did, right? So he's got McCaffrey, and then somehow he missed out on the receivers. But I mean, if you got McCaffrey, that's one and done. Like McCaffrey and Purdy, you're good. Like that could really justify itself.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a problem running it in, and they have to like throw swing passes to get those 8 touchdowns.
There you go. Maybe bringing in a couple rookies as well. Jane Higgins and Trey Harris. That's a fun 1-2
That's
punch
a
there.
nice one too, especially with the way that Higgins has been rising lately. Yeah, no,
So
every single time I draft DeAndre Swift on stream, everyone's like, "Oh, the worst pick, terrible. This team's dead." I'm like, "Come on."
it's more God, right? It's more so the Ben Johnson coming over, right? And his
Okay.
history with Swift
Hates
on the
him.
Lions, just right. And when you come over as the new coordinator or whatever, you're looking for your shiny new toy, not the old one that you already played with. Right. So that's a worry. I think that's some of the worry for Stevenson with the Pats. Luckily, the Pats need a lot more than just running back, but there's still a threat there too, especially with Vrabel.
Yeah,
But
if Swift had his peak career year last year, and I'm kind of chasing that, I'm going to get 80% of that like this year, then he's probably not the best pick in this range upside wise. He can probably justify being an RB3 best case, but then we're missing the upside of any of the
you're
guys
probably
that go
happy.
after
You're
him.
probably happy with 80% of last year with Swift at this price, I would think.
Yeah, that's kind of that's how I'm thinking of it right now. So that's how I'm justifying it. Okay, a 2, 3, 5, 1. How do our receivers look, you think? Is it time to strike again? We're on the clock.
Thielen's not terrible here for your team
Yeah.
comp.
Quentin Johnson's there, your guy. I like him here. I think it's a good pick on this team.
I think the
Past
Mike
80.
Williams addition helps him more than anything.
I think so too. I've been saying Mike Williams is dust for a couple of years. I think the last time we streamed together, I said Mike Williams was dust, and I got hated on for that take.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think QJ is a good click there, bringing a spike week guy. He's going to have those 0 for 5 drops games, and then he'll have his 17-point games, which you're chasing.
The
Good
touchdowns were
spots.
kind of nice last year.
Yeah. No, he showed some sparks. He also showed us that, he's going to have games where he forgets to put the stickum on his gloves. Like we all forget.
That happened in college with him too. I guess some people thought he didn't have great hands, more of like a body catcher in college,
Oh, definitely.
but would get open. So
Yeah.
then this is an interesting spot. If we go Thielen, we're feeling pretty good at wide receiver. Feels like a strong spot to be in. Potentially Bryce Young comes back around.
I think you go RB, and then you might have to go RB again.
We might though. Okay, so this would be at ADP. It's Spears or Javonte or Dobbins or Ford. I would take any of those. I'm open to it.
Whoever you like, whoever you want, based on your exposures. Get up Ford. Cool. I like that. Maybe get some Travis Hunter pseudo correlation there between the two of them.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, you would think Ford gets some draft competition and is the RB2 on a team that's going to kind of lean into the running the ball a little bit. Best case scenario, they whiff on their running back and he has a stronger role. So he could be a guy that pays off nice at this price. I mean, this price is just, anything goes.
It's kind of funny. Some of these Cleveland pieces have been falling after the Joe Flacco news, which is like gives you stability. This is why I liked Josh Downs so much last year. It's like Joe Flacco was the QB2 there. It's like if A. Rich isn't the guy or he goes down with injury, you have stability behind them.
Right.
They don't become zeros, right? It's not Skylar Thompson as the QB2.
Yeah, that's a really helpful thing. Like you mentioned, who's that backup quarterback? How bad can the situation get?
And he made a freaking run. He had some top 5 QB finishes those weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's got something to prove. He's a Super Bowl winner. Was he the MVP that year of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I believe so. Downtown
right?
Flacco.
Yeah, Flacco's been around for a long time. Interesting. Okay. So in this kind of middle range where it starts to get gross, I know it depends on the team build, but we're going to be needing some more running backs on our squad. I think Jerome Ford's our 4th RB. We started really late
on the way back around.
Yeah. it's becoming harder to get guys like DJ Giddens and RJ Harvey in the back half of the 14th round where they
Yeah.
used to kind of live. Now they're
Yeah.
going the back half of the 13th round. I think I said 15th.
We got some we got some new shiny toys in that
Yeah.
area. Well, there's too many people in this draft with us to say them right now, but where's the private chat?
We got Aaron, we got Artman, we got who else we have in here that was just a few. It's a late night crowd, you know. Everyone else is asleep. Normal people are sleeping right now. I know I'm keeping you up on the East Coast. Appreciate you being here and chatting it up. It's always good to cut it up with you, my man.
We're both on dad leave right now, so it's good. It's good. I'm part-time, but yeah, we're still on the leave.
Nice.
Check that.
Yeah.
Check the private chat. That's who I think is going to be there, and who I think.
Ooh, I like one of those names.
The first one or second one? You like the second one?
No, I like the
first. Shit! Oh shit! If you like the first one, you should like the second one.
I don't know. Dude, Hardman, take your guys. You know you can do it. It's your draft too. Devin Neal. I have a fair amount of Devin Neal, but I think I've been saying this. Like Devin Neal feels like a guy, and Ollie Gordon feels like a guy. I've got a lot of Neal. I think it's more of a factor of how I've been drafting and needing running backs kind of in this range. But
yeah,
Ollie Gordon and Devin Neal are kind of more players that NFL coaches and staffers are going to like probably more than the fantasy community likes right now. I think those are two names that could get more draft capital than we're expecting, the Neal and Ollie Gordon.
Dude, 19.5% Ollie Gordon. I'm going to fall on the sword. I'm going to
fall. Oh, you're way in. Okay. I haven't really, I don't think I've fully noticed that, that you're that high. Somehow I'm low, but it's a function of like at that point in the draft, I'm probably already good. And then I'm looking to skip 180s and go into the 200s for those late running backs. So I could definitely use some more Ollie.
Oh, this worked out really well. There's a ton of guys here.
Let's look at that. I mean, Algier is still there, who I have.
I'd probably, I'd lock in Algier or Rico if you want to balance.
I do want to change it up.
Okay. Go Rico. Because Algier is so heavily tied to Bijan getting hurt.
Do we lock in Kmet first, though?
Yeah, you can. It's going to be gross not to get two running backs here.
But I agree.
Structurally.
I agree. I think it'd be nice to have Caleb double stacked in case he's the answer this year and is the quarterback that maybe has a Joe Burrow type of year. Of course, TJ Moore is a big part of that, but catching a few more of those touchdowns, I don't know. And Cole Kmet's not like the sexiest pick, but
this is looking like a 3-7-7-3.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking because we're still weak at running back and the receiver is the strong point. Either 3 or could even push 2, worst case scenario. But I do like kind of those rookie upside picks you were talking about, like a Mason or something could fit nicely. So just a quick look. There's no QBs we want. The running backs, I think there's that name we talked about in the private chat. There's 2 of those names here. Do we bring one of those up or just go Dowdle because of the value and
just go Dowdle? Yeah, you're lower on him. You get him at a little discount. In the landing spot's pretty good for him. I will say, like, I adjusted my take on Rico where I was going to take 0 of him when he was going in the like 140 range, and now he gets a pretty good spot and you get a discount on him. Like, that's, I don't know what people thought. Like, what would you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
But I see you've been fading him as well. You're at 2.7.
The main reason is, look at this Chuba exposure. 21% Chuba, and I was drafting him on a lot of, I guess, little boards, big boards. Maybe I haven't done one of my higher stakes ones. 21%, and it was his ADP was like in the 30s and 40s. So I had Chuba higher. Obviously, Dowdle goes there, and Chuba falls in ADP. But I never really like corrected, and have been taking Dowdle on these other teams. I kind of was just on the Chuba side of it.
And yeah, I don't mind that either. Chuba also kind of gets some certainty too, right? With Brooks being out for the most of this year, and they bring in Rico, which yeah, Chuba should maybe fall a little bit, but like that's because he should have always fallen a little bit.
Mm,
Like if it wasn't going to be Rico, it's going to be someone maybe worse. Now they didn't want to spend capital because they're planning for the year ahead after that with Jonathan Brooks is my guess. So they bring in
right.
Rico on a cheap 1 year deal, I believe, and just to
I think
pad him
so.
to get them by for when Brooks is hopefully healthy in 2025, 2026.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, God, just Chuba had such a good season. The way he ended the end of the year, like,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think the Panthers are on the come up. They've invested in their offensive line. If Bryce Young can hold it together and not get benched for Andy Dalton, maybe they've got something there. If they take a receiver at a respectable place in the draft, like second round or something, it could kind of surprise. But at the end of the day, in their division, you got to think. I mean, the Saints are going to be bust this year. We're kind of all leaning that way now with the Carr news. It's got to be the Buccaneers to lose, and then the Falcons are going to be the number one contender behind them. So then it's can the Panthers upset and flip the Falcons? Maybe the Falcons defense is pretty terrible, so it's not unheard of that they could just flop too. And maybe Michael Penix Jr. is not the immediate answer. Maybe it takes him a little bit longer to get going.
Yeah, I like that. I just think before Rico was there, like
Mm-hmm.
people were clicking Chuba because like, oh, he's the guy. He had a good season last year, and like he's the only one there.
Yeah,
And they probably don't want to draft anyone, right? Which would make sense. But at the same point, like Rico, they probably want to mix him in there. If I had to guess, it would be like a 35-65,
yeah, and I mean,
which is still good for Rico.
yeah, it is still good for Rico if they're more of a run heavy team. Um, Rico did surprisingly decent with the Cowboys last year. Maybe that was the best case scenario for him to be in, but I was kind of surprised they didn't bring him back. I mean, was it just because of his contract was up, or like, what do you think it was?
Rico,
Yeah,
I don't think I don't think they were tied to him like people thought. And that was the thing with Rico and why he fell. It's because they're like, oh yeah, like Dallas is gonna bring him back on cheap money, and they're like, we'd rather just, go with Javante, which is
yeah,
interesting and kind of telling in a way.
yeah. That was interesting. You know, coming full circle on it, it was like they don't bring back Rico, but they go out and get Javante, someone else's kind
Mhm.
of castaway.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I always wanted Javante to be able to come bounce back from his injury, but I just don't know the way he shredded his knee. Like it just seems like it's really taken a toll on his kind of like some of the things that made him, the running back that he was, more elusive or explosive. And so I've been pretty out on Javante.
I have not clicked him since he was in the 180s.
Hmm.
I was at 40% when he was in the 200s
Yeah.
and up to like 185, and then they got the landing spot, and after that I just really haven't gotten much, maybe 2%.
I think that's interesting. In my mind, it's hard to justify clicking him way up there in the 50s, whatever
143.
40s, 50s range over all of these luck box surprise rookie running backs that could land somewhere
Yeah.
even better or, unseat a guy like him. Maybe don't have those kind of nearly career ending injuries on their resume.
And end of the day, if you're drafting Javante still at 143, you're really banking that they take they take a receiver or something in round one. Um, you don't round one RB would crush Javante's ADP back to like they wouldn't even fall that far. You'd probably go back to like 180, 185.
Oh yeah, it could totally kill him. He could be in the 200s if they get someone meaningful.
Oh, round one, it would crush. I like whoever you like here. RBs is going to be pretty gross for us.
Yeah, and we're at 5, so it's like we can get the 6th one here, and maybe it's Smith. Although I don't know if he can handle like that big of a workload. So what's his real upside, and what kind of role, kind of offense can he fit into?
Grab your last receiver here.
I'm gonna get Alec Ayomanor. I think I like him just a little bit more than these other guys. Although, if I'm not mistaken, I need to get through. I need to finish it. I said I was gonna finish it today, but I didn't really get back to it. Was Dane Brugler's the Beast? He has Jalen Royals as his wide receiver 7, and so this would be a pretty decent value. Maybe the class is bad enough where you don't want the wide receiver 7 at that point, but I'm pretty sure he has him ahead of Ayo Manor. I get a little bit of a shades of JJ Arcega-Whiteside when I think of a Stanford wide receiver who's tall and catches like, that kind of like spectacular catch, contested catch receiver. So I'm somewhat afraid of Ayo Manor. Maybe start to take a little bit less of him. But look at this range. There's not much else, attractive options unless you go like Brashard Smith goes. Okay, so I'm thinking still running back here.
Let's go Will Shipley. We passed on Barkley for Jefferson, so it's kind of interesting to pair Jefferson with Shipley here.
This is why I bring you on the stream. You're a smart man. You know exactly how to play this. If you're going to fade Saquon, if you're going to fade Jamar Chase, you might want to have T. Higgins, and then you might want to have Shipley.
Pretty sick team. Big brain. The big brain team.
Big brain team. Yeah, exactly.
How many picks do we have left?
Just those, just the 3, right? So we'll get 1, 2, 3.
So we need QB. Here we go.
It's getting down to it.
QB tight end targets there in the private.
Yep.
I thought we had 2 picks left. It's 1:44 in the morning. We probably could have gotten Shipley on the way back around. That's my bad. Still not a bad pick, but
he gets taken often. It's when you don't want him that he's there, but it's when you want him that he's never there. At pick 215. So I'm that's totally good.
100% true.
Plus, you know how it goes. It's the old auction draft theory. These are all $1 bids. So
Shipley. Little fun fact for the crowd, little nugget. What time is it and how many people do we have in here? All right, 6 people. Slap the like, hit the sub. He hasn't been asking for he hasn't been doing the promos, the advertisements.
Weak promo man.
No commercials here. Will Shipley was in Liam Murphy's top 5 RBs for ownership.
Ooh. That is a free preview into what you can get if you sub to the Patreon. I love it. Appreciate you dropping some knowledge.
It's a deep one, and this is for the people that are going to rewatch this tomorrow. Surprise guest stream. How many minutes in? Well, we're deep. Well, we're 2 hours and 7 minutes into this stream. The nuggets come out. The nuggets come out when you least expect it.
Incredible. Yeah, that's how we're doing it over here in the Fantasy Football Garage. They are late and long streams.
It's perfect.
There's a certain type of crowd. A lot of the real degens, a lot of the guys who are out here. But it's fun. It's been good. I have no idea what my schedule is going to look like when I go back to working and then fitting these in, but it's either going to be late night or early morning. I don't know which one's better or worse.
Kareem Bean asked, I don't know, did we touch on this? What are the stats of late round rookie tight ends hitting year 1? I mean,
I thought you responded Sam Laporta. I thought that was the answer.
Dude, that was just a joke. I was just kind of like, yeah, Sam Laporta is obviously 1. But like Bowers didn't go late last year. He's in the 90s, hundreds to start, and he was obviously
Bowers was my top tight end last year.
Smash. I liked him. He was yeah. He was awesome pick last year.
That worked out nice.
Late though.
I was like 19%.
Late would be who from last year that really hit. It's more so the guys that went too early that failed. More so than the guys that went late and hit. The guys that went late.
The current tight ends, there's none. There's Jatavian Sanders was the tight end too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Chig missed.
He's still in
Juwan
the same
Johnson
spot. Oh, I was
missed.
thinking rookies, purely rookies, but
Oh, rookies, right. The question is rookies. So you had the Washington guy. He failed
Sinnott,
miserably.
that was awful.
It wasn't a great class last year. However, this class is supposed to be pretty good. Now, they didn't test the best,
Right.
and Arroyo was hurt, so he didn't test at all, I don't think. I haven't checked up on his pro day. I have a feeling he still didn't run, though.
I watched that pro day. I saw Arroyo catching passes, I thought, but I don't know that he ran. I never checked back to see the metrics.
Mhm.
I'm in on Arroyo. My question I've been asking is Cam Ward him, and he's like raising and elevating all of the skill position players around him? Damian Martinez, Arroyo, Restrepo. Is he the one making that offense work? Right. Or is it kind of more mutual? Or is it some of the skill position players elevating Cam Ward? I'm starting to lean towards Cam Ward's that good, and maybe we should be slightly fearful of the guys around him. I'm like maybe not 50% in that mindset, but getting close, and then the rest of it would be split between kind of no, it's more of a mutual versus they're elevating Cam Ward. I think them elevating Cam Ward is like the least likely outcome.
I could see that.
Because he was the newcomer. They were already on that team.
I
think
so. I think so too, which means like these Tennessee pieces probably go too low. Yeah, Dart goes.
Do you take any Milroe?
Sparingly. I think this is probably a spot to do that.
And at this point,
not on this click though, because we're gonna push it past the guy that has 3. Probably grab your tight end. Grab your tight end.
Okay.
Or
Let's do a little. I mean, we were just talking about Arroyo, so it's him or Taylor. I like them both pretty equally.
Go Arroyo.
Let's do it. We were just talking him up, so let's take him.
That's it. You just gotta hope he stays healthy. That's it. He can do it. He's a top 5 prospect this year. If you want to go outside the top 5, I have it as Tyler Warren, Colson Loveland, and it's gonna for those two. It's gonna depend on landing spots. Like I think
100%.
I want to be balanced with both of those guys because if one goes to the Chargers, like I want that guy. Who's that guy? Like so, just draft both.
Oh, Marshawn Lloyd goes. I'm surprised. There's a lot of guys in the chat. I know we draft here most nights, and Marshawn Lloyd goes well before pick 200 to some of the bros in the chat. So that's I'm a little bit surprised to see him still there. Not a guy that I've clicked a bunch. I had a few of them when I checked it last, but
yeah. I don't have a ton either. It's like there's a fucking huge question mark there, right? So it's
right.
And he kind of burnt everyone last year. So I think that's probably another reason why his ADP is so suppressed. Because who else would they have, right? And they do kind of run a running back by committee with more than just 2 guys too. But Arroyo, I have him like with Gunnar Helm. I have Harold Fannin at the 3 spot. Mason Taylor kind of like there with Harold Fannin. I feel more comfortable about Mason Taylor's role than Harold Fannin. Harold Fannin could be like he could be like Kyle Pitts, right? But not Kyle Pitts' rookie year. Like Kyle Pitts' second year.
That's an interesting comp. Yeah. You mentioned Helm. I'm not sure if you're thinking positively about him or if he's just kind of like an afterthought.
I like him. I like him.
Again, he's a guy I was clicking in the little board and clicking earlier before the combine. Of course, he rolled his ankle during the combine. That was kind of unfortunate. But he was the leading receiver for the Texas offense last season, ahead of Golden, ahead of Bond. He was a big difference maker in a lot of those games. Critical first downs, big touchdowns, ability. Yeah. So he could be a dude. Gunnar Helm.
And he could sneak into like the third round. I think would be like the earliest prediction for him.
That'd be pretty early.
But he's definitely in the top 6 for me for this year. Terrence Ferguson's right behind him, and I probably don't have enough Terrence. I should be mixing him in more.
I don't have any.
Yeah. Out of Oregon.
Yeah, what about Aronde Gadsden out of Syracuse? his
Oh,
path
we're going deep.
pretty deep.
we're past my brainwaves.
This is like
Right.
it's like landing spot dependent, and it now
Yeah.
we're starting to get
Yeah.
into like dynasty think. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Gunnar Helm for dynasty.
Yeah.
Throw it out, whatever. Maybe he's a late third or fourth round pick and tight end premium, whatever. He doesn't have to hit his rookie or even sophomore year to pay off in dynasty. But in best ball, it's like I don't know if these are the guys.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Terrence Ferguson had a faster 40 than all those guys we just mentioned,
Yeah,
including Warren, Colson Loveland, not by much. We're talking fractions of seconds,
okay.
but just to show that he is up there with the overall like athletic score and still being like same size, 255, 6'5". They're like all freaks. They're like all 255, 6'5", except for Harold Fannon's a little light. So like that's why I kind of comp him to Kyle Pitts a little bit.
Yeah. I think I did notice that about him too. Besides being in the FCS, Bowling Green. So one interesting stat I heard was, and it's been going around, but Harold Fannin had more yak than Luther Burden had total receiving yards last year, where I think Burden had under 850 and Harold Fannin had over like 870 yak.
That's a crazy one. That's a crazy one. But again, he's running out there and you can look at it. It's like looks like he's playing high school teams in some of those
That's
games.
what I'm
Like,
saying.
he's just
That's what I'm
schooling
saying.
people. He's just pulling off stupid high ho moves that would just never work. But yeah, Kyle Pitts obviously a little taller, but oh my god, we'll see. We'll just see. The landing spots can be so important when we talk about these late round tight ends. Who gets the opportunity is going to be the biggest thing. So kind of spreading the love with those late round picks.
Totally agree. It's landing spot dependent. If you get behind a Hawkinson or a Laporta, good luck.
Yeah.
One thing I just thought back to, we were talking about Jacoby Myers going pick 75. Do you remember the good old days when a couple years back, maybe even last year, Jacoby Myers is pick 120 and he's an auto click. We were both on him. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but
it was last year.
It was just last year, right?
Yeah,
he was
like
the auto click. It was too easy.
Yeah, now he's tough to click.
Man,
click. Well, who's there for ADP if you just slap?
Yeah, it's Kendre.
Just curious.
Well, I think for me it's Kendre, Roshan, but we already got Swift, so it's kind of a weird pick.
Yeah, Kendre, or we need carries, right? So I'd say Kendre makes sense.
I haven't been taking any Estime this year. I have way too much Gibson. I need to back off that a bit. Yeah, let's just take.
You shouldn't feel bad about that. You don't have that much Kendre.
I do want some Kendre. I was only thinking because we're kind of fading the Saints, but maybe this is the one pick where, I mean, it's late anyways. It doesn't really make a big of a difference. Do we have
this is almost like this is like a pseudo hero RB team.
It kind of is
in the top
100.
It's almost a zero RB team.
It is really close to a zero RB. Definitely. I think, Quinshon's more borderline that I have a pick with him, but if we would have swapped him with Travis Hunter, it's pretty close still. Mm-hmm. End up with that 3-7-7-3 build. Got the double stack Caleb Williams. We also got Swift. JJ McCarthy is just stacked up with Jefferson. And then Jalen Milroe, we'll have to see where he goes, how that fits in. Same with Judkins. We got a bunch of nice receivers up top. Mm-hmm. I probably would have liked this one with an elite QB a little bit better, but then that just means we wouldn't have had Kittle, and I don't think one fell to us. Is that what happened? If I look back at it.
There was no Jalen Hurts there, no.
Yeah, it would have had to have been Jalen Hurts. That would have been the pick. Marion Hampton or Jalen Hurts makes this, in my mind, a lot better than what we ended up with. But overall, not bad. Mm-hmm. Fun. And
I think one of the pivotal spots, I think, are maybe Kmet, right? If we go RB there, is there an RB you like there better, right? And then in that last round, is there a tight end you like that's available better than Kendre? at RB.
Yeah, that's a good
Now,
thought
there's
exercise. It would have been
correlation. There's
it
correlation though. That's
yeah, it would have
baked
been
in.
Dowdle, but then I mean, we ended up getting him, right? And then, but if it would have been 2 running backs, like you were saying, I would have liked RJ Harvey to fall there.
Mhm.
I don't know if I feel strongly about these other guys. I think Martinez, like as you were saying in the private chat, Martinez could have been a good pick. Maybe we pulled him up a little bit. That could have been better. And then instead of getting Kendre Miller, we could have, just filled in any other tight end there.
I think was Chiggy still available? No, Chig went at 206. Okay.
Yeah,
To
he went
Hart.
in a decent range for him.
Yeah.
Juwan Johnson too. That's a decent spot for Juwan and so Higbee. So we really, they weren't really letting the tight ends fall. They had Barner get drafted, Musgrave get drafted in this one.
Who's available at tight end? Who's available at tight end at the end there?
There's got to be somebody, right? Mason Taylor.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's funny. That's funny. Komet over Martinez. Yeah, it's that's more like team structure there. Like,
yeah,
because your first RB is Quinshawn Judkins and your second RB is Charbonnet and RB2, it's like, I try to spend more capital on it, but I think it's a fun crew regardless. Like on this specific team, like Chuba goes down, which would suck for the rest of your teams, but good for this one.
Yeah.
Or he just gets 50% of the workload, right? Forward, they don't add a running back in the first 2 rounds. There's ways for this to be fine. Kamara gets moved before the trade deadline. It's gonna take some love. It's gonna need some love.
It would need some work. The receiver's pretty strong.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna call it on that one. I don't think it's a super team, kind of what I was hinting at in the thumb, what I'm going for. But I think it's a fun one for sure. And hey, Pat, it's been great having you out. I know it's getting late, so I'm gonna let you get out of here. Always love cutting it up with you, my man, talking ball and having a good time. Appreciate all the shouts out on Twitter and YouTube and everything. And we'll catch you in these streets real soon, my man.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Appreciate you, Chris.
Hit
the like. Hit the sub.
All right, guys. I'm ending the stream there and catch y'all next time. Peace. But overall, it's like the guy can ball, like actions speak louder than words.